And once again, a huge thank you to all the supporters of the 87.8 Survivor FM podcast. First of all, our Patreon supporters. A big thank you to all of our editors, our $5 supporters, our production managers, Dick Donovan, Big Dog, Shane Murphy, Tank Dazza, Michael, Hawks Hammer, and Nightkin. Our producers, Jake Snow, Red Freedom, Melbourne, Tuxness, and Michael. And our director, our $50 supporter, a huge thank you to the Wolves of DayZ Service or Sauerkraut. We'd also like to shout out all of our YouTube members, Kenny Baker, Mr. Fix, Cinnamon, King of Lobar, Foxypote, and Tuxness. All of you are legends who help the show go on each and every week. Thank you for all your support, even just by watching or listening each week to the podcast, and we hope you enjoy this week's show. And would also like to shout out all of the team behind the show who help it come forward to you each and every week, starting with Marks, Lad, Archie Stormcloud, Fix Your Internet, Foxypote, Don Sibley Games, DanceofJesus, Jacob Mango, Daone, and Spud. Thank you all for your support. Links are in the description. Please go and check them out. And welcome to episode 30. Well, 30? Oh, God almighty. You can tell I haven't had my coffee this morning. Welcome to episode 85 of the DayZ podcast. Marks, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
Going for a fresh little meme logo there for your profile pic, mate. You're going to confuse everyone. They'll be going, who's that guy with the munted head?
Picture I took while on holidays.
And Lad, how you doing, buddy?
Not doing too bad. Bit under the weather today, but pushing on.
You haven't been drinking enough iron brew, have you?
Mate, I got myself a new fucking bottle. What do you think?
Archie said he'll be joining us very, very shortly. He's in the process of moving, so he's only going to be on a laptop. But, yeah, we'll get by. But the man of the moment, Mr. ChrisFPS, how you doing, buddy?
I'm very well, thank you, and thanks again for having me.
No, it's a pleasure to have you on, mate. Been a fan of your stuff for quite some time now, especially your thumbnail arts. You've got your own little unique style, and I want to find out more about them, mate. So before we go into that, though, you uploaded a little bio for us, so we'll go through the bio.
Okay.
My name is ChrisFPS, 32 years of age, and live in London. I originally got into DayZ through a YouTube video from a friend shared during 2017. I have a combined number of hours accumulating to approximately 5,000. I joined Twitch through encouragement of two prior streamers called Shadow and 47th Destroyer, and we decided to create a group called the Deadly Assassins. This was to bring together close friends, alliances we had made on services, and other content creators to support one another. During my time playing, I have dedicated several hundred hours to DayZ YouTube videos, which originally started on BWOF We Devils, also got me beta access to experimental before release server, and was extremely supportive of us, especially as BWOF was one of the first servers to introduce modded clothing and accessories in-game, giving us an opportunity to showcase our group and continue supporting players joining to community on the server. I eventually started to network with other content creators and joining other servers while supporting, when having any free time, small streams with Twitch overlays, panels at no cost, or thumbnails, rather than pay £20 to £80 per illustration. Intros to motivate others who have a similar passion to me. Using the positiveness and impress from videos made by Septic Falcon, JLK, Minder, I prioritise my focus to improve on storytelling, cinematics, and creating eventually my own thumbnails and making them for others as a way of practicing. During the podcast, I will be sharing a little secret about how to enable slow motion in DayZ to get those epic moments captures. At this moment in time, due to personal commitments, I have postponed any further videos. I have artwork made for people such as Blackjack, VCam, Absinthe, Daydreams, 47th Destroyer, RDD, Smithers, Sil, Wolfener, Queenie, and Cappy. So, yeah, you definitely get out and about, mate. You're a social butterfly of the DayZ community, aren't you, mate?
I probably once was, yeah, not so much in recent months. Obviously, there's been personal commitments there that have taken me away from playing DayZ. There has been a little bit of a lack of interest, to be perfectly honest. And
We'll go through it, mate.
Yeah. So I've obviously used the free time to probably play other games, but slowly starting to play DayZ again and then enjoy it for what it once was.
Yep. What's got you to come back?
I think it's just enjoying the game with friends. As I've mentioned, I play with a group called the Deadly Assassins. So initially it was myself and two other streamers. They were very well networked at the time. And what happened is we got well known. We started recruiting members, became a very large group, and we just became a force, if you like, to be reckoned with. Running around with 20, and up to 40 people at times. I can remember.
You were the terror of the service.
At times, yeah, a headache at times. There were times when there was shit talking in global chat as well. I'm not gonna hide away from that. But yeah, no, it's definitely been a great experience. You could obviously see it through some of my older videos, how DayZ has come on and the way of raiding bases in particular has changed.
Mm-hmm. We need Archie here, but that's one of his favourite activities in DayZ is base raiding.
Fucking hell.
He's quite good at it too. I imagine you got quite good over the years as well there, Chris.
Yeah, no, definitely. If there's a way to raid it without actually using a raid tool, so to speak,
yep.
I'll definitely find a way.
I imagine you upset many people with some of those methods, mate. I know that's one of the nightmares for Spud with the DayZ Down Under community is people who've come up with creative ways to, there's one that lives in history as one of the most infamous raids, where a guy called FedEx made this stairway of car parts and stuff like that to get up to a window on the top of a house, and it's called the Stairway to Heaven now. It's just everyone who was playing on the server at the time knew about it, but yeah, they had to ban that method. It was totally unrealistic, but he made it work, and yeah.
Wow.
It's definitely an art form too, base raiding though. Knowing when I first started making bases in DayZ, I was a complete noob at it, and I'd lock off a door and think that it was fine, and then people would go, "Boy, do you know you can get through that window at the back of the building?" And I'm like, "What?" And yeah, you can just boost up onto it and you just crawl right through it. And it's like, are you kidding me? And I learnt so much. Just from speaking to the base raiders and then participating in a few myself. There's so many little things that if you know,
yeah, definitely. I think that varies as well depending on what base building mod is on different servers.
Yep.
So there's base building plus, and then there's obviously vanilla
expansion. More doors. And each of these mods have had in the past their own inherent flaws as well, which have enabled people to do workarounds, and yeah.
So yeah, as I was saying, met a group of people. I was recommended at the time by a good friend called 47th Destroyer to join We Devils server, Blue Waffle Attack Force at the time. I remember at times, it was max pop continuously. The queue lines were about 30 to 40 to get in.
It was ridiculous.
And we were very fortunate at the time because, we approached Ben as a group of streamers, and what we'd said is we would advertise his server in return for some sort of advertisement in game. And I know he was very good friends, well, he is very good friends with Septic Falcon, who's released videos on how to mod clothing. And one of the first things we ever saw is having modded clothing in this server, but it was our own brand of our group. It was advertising our streams, and it was in the trader mod. So any new players coming into the server would straight away see that and hopefully get a glimpse in any one of our streams. So yeah.
LB Blue Waffle Attack Force servers, they're not doing too well these days, are they?
They're not, no.
No.
I have to admit, I parted ways as well for specific reasons I won't talk about here, and I know a few others as well have done the same, which is unfortunate. But
it's kind of the meta though. Servers go up and servers go down, and it's the same here in Australia. The Pipsy servers were the king, and now they're they're still around, but they're nowhere near the popularity they had back in the day.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. So this little secret of yours that you were going to share, this slow motion in DayZ. Tell us more.
So throughout many of hours editing, I think one of the things early on I was very frustrated is capturing those cinematic shots, but getting it in slow motion. Now you can obviously slow down the footage speed itself, but what I found is it distorts the actual image.
Yeah.
So speaking with various people, there is actually a way to completely slow-mo the game down. And what I mean is zombies, environment, your player when it comes to shooting, reloading. So it allows any content creators out there to actually capture those shots needed, which are very beautiful. And I do hope a lot of people, watching do try it, because it's quite surprising the results you get from it.
All right. Go on. Spill the beans. I'm fucking interested.
You're welcome to share your screen as well if you want to.
I don't think I could show my screen to give an example, but it's very straightforward. So what you would need to do is I'm only aware of it working in offline mode, and obviously to do it you need to disable Battle Eye. Obviously, as well, if you want to add specific mods to replicate the server you're playing on and that footage to actually start the story or resume the story, you would need to download Cheat Engine, which a lot of people are aware of. Once you've got Battle Eye disabled, you can actually you inject DayZ and then you change the speed through there, so you can speed it up, slow it down, and what you can do is slow it right down, shoot, slow it completely down, and you can actually see the bullets coming out of the gun itself, dropping on the floor, bouncing around.
Wow.
Okay.
So obviously there's an inherent risk by downloading this thing called Cheat Engine. If you had Battle Eye up, it would probably detect it, I'm guessing.
I think if you were trying to fiddle with it whilst in game, yes, but yeah, I've had it on my PC for many years now. I'm just left there if I were to make footage again, and yeah, you just like I said, disable Battle Eye when you're going into offline and go from there. I've had it ever since. It doesn't cause a problem. I don't think you could use it maliciously anyway. It's very basic.
Okay, we'll have to get you to give us like a step-by-step or something, and I'll add it to the comments of the video.
No problem.
Yeah, to let people know about it. Now, we mentioned before about your artwork, mate. Your artwork style is so beautiful. Let me just open these up, and we'll go through them. Some of these thumbnails you've done, mate, are phenomenal.
So, judging by looking at them in the style, do you usually get like a base image and then you make a new layer and then you just draw around the edges to then fill them in and do the gradients? Is that how you do it?
So I would take various still shot images of the game. I would actually change the transparency of that, and then go creative from there, so to speak. I think a real motivator for me to actually do this is obviously a lot of other games out there use animated thumbnails as a way of clickbait. What I'd found is that people were charging anywhere between £20 to £30, and by all means the quality wasn't always fantastic. I know I know of people who charge, £80 or $120. It goes right up there in terms of prices. And what I didn't want to do is get sucked into that as well, because I love how they look, or I always try to make them as best as possible. And obviously, with practice comes perfect. But yeah, no, I didn't want to be another person having to pay out £30, having to wait. People, can go to Fiverr. You can find various websites online to get these sorts of things done. So what I did is invested into a pen tablet with a screen. It cost me about £200 to £300.
Is that a Wacom tablet? Like,
yeah, something very similar. With a screen, just to make it a lot easier.
Yeah,
these are stunning, mate.
I love these.
Some of the work you've done is just, yeah. I've said it before. I'll say it again, mate. You people with artistic minds sicken me, because I'm still drawing stick people, and even they suck.
And what I did was, when creating these, I actually realized there was a lot of people within the community. There's people like JLK who do pay a hefty amount for thumbnails. Some of the older ones, the higher quality ones, they were very pricey. And what I wanted to do is give some people in the community the chance to have them, see if it would improve their view counts on the videos they were releasing. And yeah, they had positive results. I didn't charge at all, because I found it as a way of practicing my artwork, but also, it would benefit me in the long run by having that practice, improving on the quality of the drawings. It would help them with viewers, and I guess it would actually kind of network me with other people, or bring me to other people who are looking for a similar sort of thing. I've had many requests in the past, to make these at a cost, but it all comes down to obviously time pressures and other commitments. So if I have the time, more than happy to support anyone with these sorts of things. But yeah, it's all down to time, unfortunately.
I really like
one.
that, because, well, especially when you're an up and coming one and you have maybe either a couple of hundred subs or 1,000 or something like that, you don't want to be shelling out, like you said, £20 up to £100. I've seen some people pay for a single thumbnail, which is insane. And it's sometimes you could shell out £100 for a thumbnail, and the video doesn't do well at all, and you don't make your money back, so you're just losing money.
Definitely.
It's a big risk, especially when you're a smaller channel.
Yeah.
And it's nice. I like that you're just doing it for free, and then you're also learning from it, so it benefits you and it benefits them. It's a win-win for everyone at the same time. Which is good to hear.
And I think that probably initially, so me offering out that service free of charge, I think it initially came from, going to other streamers who are on Twitch, whether it be Twitch or YouTube, mainly Twitch. And, I would see people's overlays or panels, and it would it would frustrate me a little bit, knowing that they could be of a better quality if they had that money or that time spent or that investment, or knowing who to go to. So, I would just send them a message, send them some screens of previous artwork. And yeah, from there, I guess it came on to actually doing these thumbnails for people.
Definitely very good.
Have you had anyone try to abuse your goodwill?
No, I think I feel I'm of a mature enough age to actually distinguish between people trying to, take advantage. So but no, fortunately, I haven't.
So how do people get in contact with you if they want to get something done for their channel?
So it could be Twitter. I think, as well, Discord is another one. People go on my video, see a Discord link at the bottom of the description, and if people are happy to message me, and I'm available, more than happy to give it a shot.
No, it's awesome, mate. I'm blown away by the quality. It's a nice style, and it is very eye-catching. which is so important when it comes to thumbnails.
You have to have your
Yeah,
colours right.
it's
One of the big things.
You've definitely got your own unique style, and that's something that's very important with any kind of like community when you're trying to make content. Is, you know, you want to be unique, but how do you get those people interested even before you watch the video? And you're definitely onto something there. And I've noticed as well with every single one that you've done, because I noticed like you know, you got videos from like a year ago, and then your videos aren't like every week or every 2 weeks. They improve. I feel like just looking at them, the thumbnails look like they are improving over time, like little more details here and there, which is absolutely fantastic, and that's what you want. So keep it up, mate. Absolutely keep it up.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Now, your YouTube channel, mate, been a couple of months since you uploaded. Yes. When can we expect something from you again?
So I've probably got about 3 terabytes of footage sitting on my computer still to edit. Yeah, it's just, you know, I've had a change of job. You know, the focus is there at the moment. But yeah, if I have that free time, I just need, I guess, that little bit of motivation. And, you know, that's what I'm so thankful at the moment with the DayZ community, with content creators, you know, about how far they're pushing it. And you can really see the difference when it comes to whether it be the storylines, cinematics, the editing, the audio, even the audio. It's something I feel that is an oversight at times. And it's very easy to, you know, just drop music onto a video clip and actually, you know, lower the sound. But yeah, just creating an atmosphere to keep the viewer engaged is very important. And there's very few people I you know, personally feel that actually achieve that.
It is so important.
Yeah.
You're going to say, lad?
No, go on. I need to clear my throat.
It is that choice of music in the background is just so important. You know, if you're going to go for that. I've generally avoided it myself because I suck at it. You know, I love music, but I'm not good at identifying music to enhance the scene and put in the background. Probably one of my favourites of all time is Super FT LOL. He's absolutely amazing at picking songs to go with his background. Mr. Blackout was another one. His videos back in the day, you know, the music choices he had were amazing.
Definitely.
Music can sometimes be the hardest part of a video. Is trying to find that song. I agree. Sometimes you'll have a kind of a vibe of a song that you have in your head, and so like you'll go through, you know, Epidemic Sounds or whatever music you go through, and trying to find that song, and you can never. Sometimes you can find it straight away, which is always great. But sometimes it could take hours and hours and hours just to find that perfect song, either for an intro or for a midsection or whatever. It can be quite annoying.
I agree, and I feel another thing with that, Mark, is as well is when you're watching so many other DayZ creators, is trying not to have a similar song or the same song for that matter in recent weeks or months, whatever it may be, in your video as well, because you want to separate yourself from others, and that's what you're trying to, you know, do, engage the viewers and the audience into watching you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't watch most DayZ gameplays, so usually I don't know if I'm using other people's music or if they're using the same music. I don't really know, but yeah, I try to always mix it up and get kind of unique stuff from my videos.
But it is good when you find a song that you really like, and you can attach that to your channel. You know, Mr. Blackout had his Doors cover song that was always played. You know, Frankie had his intro that he's gotten rid of. We'll talk more about that. Yeah, you know, there's certain channels that you associate, you know, a certain song with. You know, like I've got the 2 for this channel, the one at the start, Barely Infected Summer Song, which I first heard in a Running Man video many years ago. Renee played it at a campfire when they were sitting around it, and I was just blown away by how good the song was. And then the song at the end, My Heart Levitates, I heard that on a Geltaz, The Long Dark video. And when I looked into the lyrics for it, I thought it just, you know, it's DayZ in a nutshell. We can live here, we can die. So, you know, they're the 2 songs that I go with. for everything.
Yeah, I personally, I don't have like a specific song for a channel. Every video I'm always using new. Which can be really tricky as well because you run out quite fast.
So what else have you got going on at the moment there, Chris?
That's it, really. Unfortunately, it's just at this very moment, like I said, work. I would love to get back into DayZ, but it's very tricky for me to probably find that motivation. I do go to other games and try to get inspiration there. It's probably because I'm probably one of those people who are forever trying to achieve that perfection, whatever that perfection is. And what I'll do is I will watch whoever it is on YouTube and try and better that, or try and get a similar sort of effect, which can be very time consuming at times,
especially with DayZ
intros. Yes, it probably takes me about an hour to 2 to actually make an intro, and that's without the editing side of things as well. But before that, you need to get the storyline, if you've even got one, that is. I don't particularly like videos where it's just base raid, next episode, base raid, and I've done it in the past, and I've found that a storyline going with that is a lot more better. But it's very tricky to get, and it's very time consuming.
And the bar is so high in DayZ at the moment with the quality of the videos coming out. If you don't try to get up to that level, you just won't stand out. Nothing against the old school people and that, but a lot of them, I think, would struggle to come back now when you've got so many people pumping out these videos that you look at. I'll mention JLK. He spends weeks editing one of his massive long DayZ videos. If he wasn't putting that much level of attention into the quality of that video, no one's going to watch a 1 hour video. But he's just, we're going back and recreating scenes to flesh out the story and all the rest of it. I could never do that. It's why I pretty much don't do gameplay videos anymore, because I'm just not at the standard of. I'm not an interesting enough person to watch play either. So yeah, it's the bar is so fucking high right now.
I agree. Yeah. My hats off to anyone. Marks is included in this. Hats off, for maintaining regular uploading, and keeping the viewers engaged and interested in whatever it is you're sharing, because it is very time consuming, and I don't think there's probably enough appreciation there at times.
And YouTube is such a brutal mistress as well. You can put in so much work, and it just doesn't take off, doesn't get into the algorithm. It's so, like you were sort of alluding to at the start there, Marks. There's to get a quality thumbnail and good editing software and a subscription to Epidemic Sound, and that the costs all start to add up, and it's all a gamble. There's no guarantee you'll make your money back on that video.
Oh yeah, I think I had 10,000 subs before I even bought a music subscription. That way. I was always very.
Wow.
I'm always very. What's the word? I always very. Fuck! I can't put a word on it. I'm always very.
Apprehensive?
Yeah, when spending money on stuff like that, because in a way, even though it's only 10 quid a month, something like that, it's always a bit of a risk, but it was well worth the money, and definitely,
Epidemic Sound is a great library of music. Do you use it, Chris?
Yeah, I would use Epidemic Sound. So I've got a combination between that and Music Bed. So at times one will post better music than the other, or you'll mix it up a bit. That's it. Apart from that, it's only those two for me.
Yeah.
And like Nitno's saying, the YouTube audio library is very limited as well. And most of those songs have been used dozens and dozens and dozens of times. Yeah.
That's what I used for all of last year, was just YouTube's audio library. It's actually weird. It seems like when you buy a music license, you get restricted from YouTube's audio library. Because when I bought my music license, they wouldn't update it anymore. But then when I went to like one of my my like other gaming channel and went into the music audio library there, it was all updated. So it seems like they kind of restrict you when you buy a license, which makes sense.
Anything else going on, Chris?
No, not really. I sound very boring, don't I, in that sense?
What servers have you been dabbling in lately?
So at the moment, I think, at the moment I'm playing, bear with me, it's called Brain Dead or Brain Deaf. It's a very good server. Quite modded, but it's in its own unique way. And I feel it's very balanced, and it brings, whether it's new items or scenery or areas, it's a very nice server so far. And plus my group play on there, so it's always nice to play with 5 or 6 other people. Makes things a hell of a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from that, in the past I used to play a lot of what's the name? Let me bring up my launcher. Sorry, 1 second.
You play that many servers, you just bloody forget.
Played Rearmed, with my group as well. So when I mentioned earlier, we used to play. Where there was a time where we raided a base and there was 45 of us, which was half the pop.
Jesus.
It was on that server, but pulled away from there. Questionable players at times.
That's why they have the 5-man rule now.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be fucking surprised.
It is one of the reasons. Used to play a lot of End Zone as well. Very good friends with Cappy. I played a lot with Cappy in the past.
Cappy's going well.
Yeah. He's doing very well, and he's a very, very lovely person as well. Very lovely person. But that server, is doing very well. It's lasted a lifetime.
10,000 subs.
Not bad at all, to be fair. Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Seems like he's got a healthy viewer count as well for his videos, which is good.
Yeah, decent views. Always getting thousands of views on it. So, like I said, look at these thumbnails. Doing really well.
So there's a lovely one there where it says ambushed, outnumbered, but still winning. That's one of my lovely pieces.
Yep. Can tell.
And I think the one next to it, yeah. So he needed a helping hand. I think he goes to a specific person, pays a small fee, but he's very happy with them. But at that specific time, they weren't available, so he decided to chip in and give a helping hand. And he was thrilled, very happy. And it's quite interesting, the views on those videos as well, when comparing against some of the others.
Yep. Like we said, there are just so many amazing people coming through right now. It's hard to keep track of everyone who's creating content right now for DayZ. It's quietly going through a little bit of a boom right now.
Broke 40k concurrent players there.
Yeah.
Again.
$40,000 there on November 8th.
Yeah.
And climbing again for the weekend.
Has a steady number, which is.
Are we gonna surpass 40,000 again? We'll just have to see.
Probably around Christmas time, I'd say, when the holidays come in, if there's a sale.
Yeah. Christmas sales.
And 115 should be out as well, so that'll push people as well.
Yeah.
What do you think the effect of Frankie's going to be on the game?
Nothing, because he's playing Armor 3.
You didn't see the Namol's video?
Yeah, I watched like 5 minutes of it. It wasn't very good. Put it bluntly.
I'm glad he's back. Don't get us wrong.
Yeah.
Like his content, how do I say this? Like his content has a specific idea. Now you got other content creators who'll create content about like base rating and like information, updates and stuff like that, and organic gameplay. Frankie's videos are set up where it's like it's a film. It's a movie. It's got a beginning, middle, and end. It's got a story to it. And sometimes, like with his Return of the Island of Dead, multiple videos will have that story. And there's nothing wrong with it, I feel. There's nothing wrong with it at all. It's fantastic that, you know, his first video back, it's got over 1 million views, as you'll see there on the screen. And his Volcano of the Dead, you know, 500,000 is Namaz's video, 500,000. So his fans definitely still there, and they're really happy he's back. But now he does have a lot of competition.
Yes.
So he really needs to, if he wants his content to improve, not saying it's shit because it's good, but if he wants it to keep improving, he needs to have a look at the competition now, and he has to actually up his game a bit more. I tried to watch his videos. I couldn't get into them. I was impressed with the modding capabilities of his Namalsk video, and I loved the setting that Volkuta was set. But I couldn't watch any more of the video because it was like, it's not my kind of content. I prefer update videos and information videos, like I said, like before, like Archie and Marks does and Warbo does. So, not my kind of content, but I can appreciate it nonetheless.
Because I just switched over to JLK because he's probably the biggest name in DayZ videos right now of the current band. And yeah, you know, Frankie is Frankie. His numbers, 500,000 in a few days is insane numbers that most people would dream of. But I 100% agree that, as we said before, Chris, the benchmark has been raised so high in the quality of DayZ videos now that Frankie is lucky that he's Frankie. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't have had the views that he's got because there's just so many people pumping out these amazing stories, these well-edited videos with the segues between actual gameplay footage where they've recreated and stuff. You know, all the tricks that Frankie was doing back in the day. So many people are doing these days.
I definitely agree. Like I said, the storylines and some of the some of the videos we see these days is just phenomenal. You know, I sit there and I do ponder, how on earth did you ever get into that sort of, whether it's replicated or scripted, you know, is another thing. But some of these stories, even if they're scripted, for example, it's just, I sit there and I think, how do you have that time to actually be that creative and think of such a story? And it's very impressive, and it does encourage other, I know, you know, for a fact, being one of them, it does encourage other viewers to actually try and push the bar themselves with whatever they're creating.
Yeah. One of the things that kind of bugged me about Frankie's Mask video is that the server he's playing on, I'm certain, was private, because he didn't give any information for the server or anything like that. Like when I play on a certain server or JLK does or anything, I don't think he gives server information, but you can find that server pretty quickly, and you can actually go on and play what he played in the video. With the Frankie videos, you can't do that. If that server, that the mouse server that he was playing on, was actually up and people could go to it, it would be, I'd hop on and play it just to try it, but you can't because it doesn't exist. So it's that's the only thing that bugs me about his videos. And his videos feel very aged. I don't know if that's a good word for it, but they feel like they're very outdated. Like that style of video was very good back when he was in the prime of his Armored 2 stuff, because he was the only one doing that type of video that was big. But since he took his break, like you're saying, you know, JLK came up and stuff, and they're kind of copying his style, but they're even doing it better than what Frankie did. And now it's like he has to try and kind of play catch up to them. So I'm just hoping he doesn't stick with this.
Apparently in the credits he said Aftermath servers.
Oh, he did? Okay. Well, that Aftermath server doesn't exist, from what I can tell anyway. Actually, I can get a confirmation.
Just have a look, yeah. I mean, I do kind of agree with you, but currently, right now, in terms of his viewers and the reception that he's getting, what he has is working. It's working well for him, and that's the thing. It's like, that is Frankie. That's his style. Just like I was going back to Chris with like the style for his thumbnails. Frankie's content is, it's him. That's what he presents. That's what he shows. And I know in the past, if I remember rightly, people in the chat can correct me if I'm wrong, but back in his OG days on Arma 2 DayZ videos, he didn't tell anybody they were scripted, and there was this whole debacle about it later on down the line. Yeah. Oh, is that Frankie's video scripted? And then now it's common knowledge. Yes, of course his videos are scripted, but I feel like his content can be appreciated more for what he's trying to do. And he's been more apparent about it. You know, you look in the description of his videos, he'll say exactly how the videos could potentially be shot. Like, is it like, it could be on public and private servers, like servers that are owned by friends to get certain shots and stuff like that. And he's not afraid to admit that his videos are kind of like movies, which is great. And more transparency like that is great as well, as long as his viewers understand not everything that you see will be fully representative of what DayZ can offer. Like, there was a lot of sound effects in his Namask video that are not going to be in the vanilla game, and I highly bet they're going to be in the mods as well. But yeah, exactly, and exactly, scale speed it, and it's fresh, because a lot of content creators, they do like to be very serious, ultra serious, all that kind of shit. But Frank is just like, he doesn't give a shit.
You can't underestimate the nostalgia effect as well. It's why so many people still play DayZ, because of the nostalgia of it. And, you know, like the comment I've got highlighted there, this literally makes me feel like I'm in middle school again, watching Frankie's videos after I come home. The good old day, love your videos, man. Yes, yeah, we've talked about how the bar has been raised, but Frankie is Frankie, and people are going to watch his shit no matter fucking what. And there's a reason why. He was doing stuff with DayZ way before anyone else was. Most other people were just doing, you know, interaction or just PvP-focused videos. Frankie was out there telling these massive stories, and, you know, you read the description of his video now. Videos may contain a mix of live public, private gameplay, mod, scripted story, acting to show the best of games. So he's being very upfront about it now.
Yeah.
I personally, Chris, I don't get the hullabaloo that some people have about scripted videos. As long as you're not fucking with someone else's gameplay, I don't care. If it entertains me, it entertains me. What's your thoughts, Chris?
I agree, 100%. I mean, look, you know, there's a Russ I know this is a DayZ podcast, but there's a Russ content creator who I watch, and a Frost. I just I become speechless about some of the storytelling he does and the time you know spent. Yeah.
To sit down and plan a whole fucking video as a story takes an incredible amount of skill as well.
I think as well, when you're watching, and if you know, if you're disclosing it, and if you haven't seen that and you're really convinced it's legitimate, you know, gameplay, and that's another thing in itself, you know, not knowing it is scripted of some sort, or there is a story there that is being told, and completely believing it's genuinely happened, that's another thing in itself. But I have no issues whatsoever, and you know, if people want to disclose it or not, that's entirely down to them. But a good video is a good video.
Yeah, it was actually interesting seeing the Mask video. He uses Mass's one of Mass's mods.
Yep.
I saw Mass comment underneath it, which was cool to see.
Yeah, Mass left a comment on there. And after having had Mass pop in last week, I was so happy to see Mass happy.
Yes, he DM'd me and he was like, he was very happy. He was fangirling a little bit about it. It was just like, oh, for God's sake, you know, kind of. But it was nice to see. It's nice to see like videos like that. The used content that is created by us
there it is.
And whatnot.
It's an honor to have Frankie running my mod on his server. Frankie's the reason I first started playing DayZ in the first place when I was just a kid. I'm so happy to see that he's enjoying the items from my pack. It's so incredible. Thank you, Frankie, for all that you've given us. The thing I liked as well, look at how many likes that comment got, and the replies were all really nice as well. You know, people saying nice stuff to Matt. It was great to see people giving, you know, adopt a modder, hashtag adopt a modder, some respect to the true heroes of it.
Yeah, it was good to see. There was something I was meant to say and I can't remember.
I personally think that it will help the numbers. I'm being very careful not to show the gameplay because he, you know, got a warning there about copyright and teams analysing footage and stuff like that, which is fair. But I personally think it will see a bit of an uptick in people coming back to check out DayZ, whether it be the Arma 3 mod or DayZ Standalone. I didn't know that he was making DayZ Standalone footage. The last I'd heard was from Ben from Blue Waffle, who said that Frankie wasn't too impressed with DayZ Standalone when he showcased it to him quite a few months back.
Yeah, I had heard somewhat recently by some people that he had a couple of videos stockpiled on Standalone ready to go. It'll be interesting to see in like a month's time after the honeymoon like kind of effect is over, what his viewer numbers will be at like then when he's constantly uploading and stuff. I know he's doing Battlefield videos as well.
Yep.
They'll probably be quite popular.
Yeah, I mean, like, you look at his actual channel and some of his, you know, I was looking at the video list, and yeah, he had 7 million views on a PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds video. The guy can play almost anything, and people will love it. He's got a unique voice, unique music. You're nodding your head there, Chris.
That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah, he can play fucking Hello Kitty Island Adventure, and he'd still get millions of views.
Oh man, I'd fucking watch that.
But yeah, I mean, to have him back.
It is very nice to have him back, definitely. And I will say now that, like, he's been saying for months that he's coming back. He's definitely coming back. He's come back at this date. And it's like, never happens. So when, you know, people are like, you know, really excited, oh, he's come back when the new Battlefield game's coming out and shit like that. I was like, yeah, all right, okay, whatever. I'll laugh when I see it. And I laughed. I laughed. He actually uploaded videos. And I can't really complain. You know, I'm really, really happy he is back. It's nice to see somebody that I used to watch back when I was just starting college, like nearly 10 years ago, making content like this. So, you know, I'm happy he's back. I just hope that he continues to upload content and improve on it as well.
You know what?
What?
Sorry, yeah, I just had an absolute brainwave here. If I was like, I don't know, a leader of marketing or something at DayZ or Bohemia or something like that, what they should have done was contact Frank and be like, look, work together, get one of your videos, release them this day, and what we'll do is we'll put a sale on of DayZ the same day we release his DayZ videos. Then when people go search up DayZ, it'll be like 25% off.
I don't know whether they could afford him.
No,
well, no, not to sponsor him, but just to put the thing on sale or something like that would have been. So that's when it would have even exploded more, you know? Or a free weekend or something like that.
Apparently, they take quite some time to organise, so it's something that they would have had to have liaised with him, and I imagine he'd probably, happy to do that, but you're going to have to pay me. And we know how frugal they are at times when it comes to marketing.
Yeah, but look, it would have been a cool idea.
Would have been awesome. Would have been fucking awesome.
I will say, and it's just something I've been thinking on about. You know, he kind of left YouTube to focus on, from what I remember, his studies. Like, YouTube at first was to help fund his studies. And he became a lawyer. And now he's no longer a lawyer. Now he's doing YouTube full time again, which is great. But it really says a lot about, you know, this guy who was really focused on his studies to become a lawyer, finally succeeded that dream, done that job. And he was like, you know what, doing YouTube is a lot less stressful. Like, Jesus Christ. So, you know, again, props to him for coming back, but fucking hell, I would love to hear more about, his time as a lawyer.
Yes,
just to get more insight into who he is as a person, you know.
Would have been quite cool.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of his change of intro?
Yeah, it's good.
I liked it. I liked it. It was like, it was. How do you explain it? It's like seeing an old friend who's like renewed themselves, who's bettered themselves.
See, I'm old. I don't like change. I was kind of sad that it was a new intro and outro and that. I like the old stuff.
I will say though that in one of his Arma 3 videos, the ones he did upload, it was such a nice nod that on the radio played his old intro music.
Yes.
I love that. So I was really, really happy with that little nod. I still watch that kind of music, like the person who made that music. I love it. Absolutely love it.
I'm going to make that my new outro song. His old music.
Yeah. So someone's going to steal the Frankie music for themselves now, the old Frankie music.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't use it anymore.
Yeah, it's free real estate. Take it.
Bionic Socks there, how do you think he's adapted to DayZ now? It was interesting watching him play. I won't talk so much about the Arma 3 stuff because I don't play Arma 3 DayZ mod. But it was interesting watching him with some of the DayZ standalone stuff. Someone said earlier that they worry that it was Wolves of DayZ, that's right, Sauerkraut. I always have a feeling new players will expect that this is what DayZ will be. This is pretty much the only downside. So, playing on a modded server, I know he's got it in the comments and that, but it was interesting, because it was quite a heavily modded server. That walkway looked very interesting. But, look, he was playing on the Molsk. I can just see all these people now going and loading up DayZ, jumping on the Molsk, and he barely even addressed the freezing temperatures. That people are going to log in and they're going to go, this isn't like what was in Frankie's video. He didn't struggle with freezing from the fucking moment you spawn in.
Yeah, I will say, and that's something Mark's pointed out in his Namalsk video, which I thought was funny. You could see when he was going into inventory bleeding, but also he was freezing and his health wasn't going down, which I was like, look, if you didn't know he was scripting before, you certainly do then.
Yeah, he was
I thought it was funny.
He had like 2 cuts and he wasn't losing any blood and he was like freezing and he wasn't even shivering.
He said something about, the server, you can have up to 1 or 2 and it's only a superficial bleed and you don't need to worry about it. And then when he slid down the ladder with his hands, and then he was confused as to why he was bleeding, and I was like,
He's
you clearly haven't played for a while.
Yeah, he seemed like he was going into. He might have been acting a little bit dumb for the video.
Mm-hmm.
To go to storyline, which that's what kind of annoyed me, and I had to click off the video because it was driving me mental trying to watch him. Yeah.
But I'm interested to see where it goes. I think he chose a great server or map to start with, Namolsk, because Sumrak has invested so much time and effort into creating the lore of it. And with Frankie exposing the storyline behind it, I think you'll find a lot of people wanting to get on and play Namolsk. Archie, how you doing, buddy?
I always feel like I'm late because I always click over here in the server and I see all you guys in here and it always says Boydie live and I'm like, fuck, did I?
You are late.
Oh, you are late. You're like nearly an hour late, dude.
Daylight savings, I'm guessing, for you, mate.
It's not even 4 p.m. here, dude. Oh my god, my bad, dude. I've been sitting here watching Bald and Bankrupt for like an hour and a half, dude. Waiting. I usually come over at 3:50 my time, dude. My bad. Holy shit, it's always been 4 for me. Sorry, everybody. Sorry to interrupt. My bad.
Yeah, better be. You're getting your paid ducked.
Archie, we're talking about Frankie coming back, mate, and what's your thoughts on it?
Sorry, I was just closing my door. Honestly, like I deleted my tweet because the first couple of videos I was like, oh, he's doing it on the mod. It kind of was like whatever. But I don't know. The new one that he put out was pretty good. I do think he's a little bit behind the curve though, because you know. But I can say I took 11 months off, and when I came back, I was so far behind. So he was going, what, 4 years? I couldn't imagine just trying to catch up. But then again, like, I'm a bandwagoner when it comes to JLK, man. I think he's one of the best content creators, period, not just in DayZ. And so he's got some serious competition now, man.
You pretty much summarized what we've all said, that he's Frankie and his views are insane. 500,000 views in a couple of days, 1 million views on his first video. They're the sort of numbers that even JLK would dream of. But the standard has been raised so fucking high with DayZ content creators. You know, we've got Chris on, mate, and we were looking at his artwork for his thumbnails beforehand, and people have evolved so much in the years since Frankie was making videos. So it's going to be very interesting to see what effect Frankie coming back, because he is going to have an effect, has on everyone else. You know, are people going to start getting JLK videos and discover all these other amazing creators who took up the mantle while Frankie's been gone?
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, maybe I know the initial hype when someone comes back it's always, 90% of your subscribers check it out, but then it always kind of trails off. So hopefully he doesn't go through that.
That's what I was saying. I was saying in the next month or so, in the honeymoon period, kind of wears away. It'll be interesting to see what his views and stuff will be like.
Mm-hmm. But then again, how many people don't know he's back yet that are subscribed to him, because he did kind of pop back in out of nowhere. I didn't even know until I was shooting the shit with Lad in Discord, and he's like, yeah, he's back today. And he had just posted the video like 5 hours before that. I would still have no idea. So.
Yeah.
Good to have him back. Excited to see what he comes up with, because he is one of the best storytellers for DayZ. He pretty much invented the storytelling. Well, didn't invent it, but he pretty much made it famous for DayZ and showed everyone what was capable of being done with a mix of scripted and all the rest of it. And now to see how he rises to the challenge of all the other people around him.
Yeah, too right.
That's another thing, though. There's kind of a bad taste towards scripted content these days, though. So I don't know.
We were just talking about that, and I personally feel that's pettiness, because the amount of time and effort and work. You could say JLK's videos are a bit scripted because he has those segments in between where he fills in the storyline. But that's why his videos take so long to pump out.
That's not a script, though.
Yeah, I see what he's talking about, like, as far as filling in the story so that the video flows and there's context, right?
Yeah, like cinematics and stuff like that.
Right. But when I don't care either way. All I'm saying is the environment now, people like the organic, the mostly organic content. So that could be an issue when people start. It's a different audience now. I mean, and there's people out there getting organic content that's the expectation, as I guess what I'm trying to communicate.
For me personally, some of it comes down to some people just aren't creative enough to come up with script, storyboard, a whole fucking story, put in all that effort, download the mods, create scenes, get people together, act it out, retake it if it doesn't work out properly, and they just rely on the old adage of, I'm doing mine organically, I'm getting real gameplay and all the rest of it. Hats off to you if you're prepared to grind out hundreds of hours to get 15 minutes of quality for a gameplay video, but don't hold it against someone who's prepared to go the other route and basically be a director of a movie and organize everything and get people together and act something out. Should they declare it in the comments? Yes, they should. I will say that. When they don't, but at the same time, it's not that big of a deal for me, provided they're not hurting someone. If they're just telling a good fucking story that entertains me, I'm happy. People are making a mountain out of a molehill, and it's becoming very petty, and you are nodding your head, Chris.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's many videos I've watched, where, yes, they're not scripted, but, I'll sit there, watch it, and I think, okay, I've wasted a bit of my life there. Whereas I wouldn't mind watching a good storytelling video that is scripted, providing that, there's a beginning, middle, and end, and it tells something interesting,
Yeah.
What pisses me off more is when people who make scripted content
put unscripted.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
and they try and pass it off as organic.
Yeah, I was just about to say
that's the problem. That's the biggest problem that I have. But when you do, like, say what Frankie does in the description of his videos, where he explains this video may not be organic, it'll be scripted in some. He details exactly like you showed before how the videos are done. That's perfectly fine. But when you get some random guy who makes all this scripted content, is like, oh yeah, this is complete DayZ organic gameplay, and then it's like
every YouTube video now. Every YouTube video that's a DayZ video. First of all, they got to be an hour now minimum. That's like the new standard, which is fucking insane. But the other one, they all start with a totally unscripted DayZ adventure. You know, I don't know. That's.
I've used that just to put it out there. I've actually used that.
Everybody is.
But I would like to say mine was not scripted.
I think I'm just going to put a totally scripted DayZ adventure on my next video. Just disclaimer.
Do you know what I find worst is when people call each other out on Twitter. That is the worst part of it.
Yeah.
It's just not needed. Grow up. Keep yourselves to yourselves. If you haven't got nothing nice to say, don't say it. Simple as.
Well, I think if you want to criticize somebody's work directly to them, send them a DM. No arguments on Twitter and like that. Whereas it's fun to watch sometimes. In the wider scope, it brings a lot of toxic connotations to the community, which is something that everybody needs to address one way or the other. You know, we're trying to, there used to be a lot of toxicity in the community, and whereas there still is quite a lot, it's, people who try and mitigate that by talking to each other in private, all that kind of shit, trying to resolve stuff. That's better. So it's like, if I made scripted content for like ages, like months and months, and I got a lot of viewers, a lot of subs, but I try to pass it off as organic, and I got a lot of criticism in public, and I'd be like, yeah, well, it's organic, it's totally organic. And then somebody were to address us in private about it, I would actually respect that a lot more than somebody trying to like call me out or cancel me in public. It's like, no, get fucked kind of thing. But I don't know. It is what it is. But
it's like a call for attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it is.
I like what Johnny Bravo just wrote there in chat. Honestly, I find it annoying that it's announced that it's scripted at the beginning of videos. So do I. I just want to be entertained, and then at the end you can say this was scripted gameplay recorded on XYZ server, yada yada yada. Because it's kind of nice, just watching it going, oh my god, I can't believe that happened. Whereas if you do know it's scripted, it's kind of like,
That's the problem. It's a double-edged sword, because if you announce it at the start of the video, then everybody watching it will be aware. But not everybody reaches the end of your video. Even if it's a 5-minute long video, people's attention spans are like shorter than a fucking mini matchstick, right? So you have to announce it at the start, otherwise you'll get people will just, shit talk and whatnot. It's like, oh, well, he didn't say it was scripted when he did at the end, so it's kind of like...
This reminds me of when, like, in the late 80s, early 90s, when people figured out that wrestling was fake. What do you mean, dude? What do you... No, man. Macho Man hates Hulk Hogan. That's the same kind of shit.
There's so many friendships destroyed over that.
There's still people that are in denial, bro.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I
would rather see a good
it's
scripted...
real.
Yeah, it's still real to me, damn it. Yeah, those guys. I'd rather see a decent scripted video. You can always tell if they're scripted or not. Even the ones that say they're not scripted, it's like, okay, bro, that doesn't randomly happen. Anyone with more than 1,000 hours knows. But like, I would rather see that than people who abuse admin shit to find bases to get content. At least, because it's hard to get content. Like, it's really hard to get content on DayZ, especially now. Especially if you don't particularly like the Power Rangers GTA Z servers that are everywhere now. But do what you got to do, man. At the end of the day, if you're getting views and subs, good on you. All I was saying when I said that was the climate now and the expectations are a lot different. So I think he's gonna maybe run into some issues with that. Hopefully not. But
do you want to know something crazy?
Well,
dozens of times.
What?
Is this a good business?
Yeah, it's a good business. I wouldn't be in it if it wasn't.
Why is it a good business?
Because only the tough survive. That's the reason you ain't in it. And this punk holding the camera,
We need a
reading, he ain't in
cricket
it.
soundbite
Reading these
from
rednecks
Bobby
out here
Stocks
ain't
in
in it
chat.
because it's a tough business.
That's terrific.
What, is that all you got?
I'll ask you the standard question. You know,
Standard question.
I think it's...
What do you mean?
Used to be
Have you
tag team
guys seen
partner
that
of Eddie
before?
Mansfield. The wrestler who's just told us...
No, I
I
haven't.
haven't. I don't have the IQ of a 4-year-old.
Well, way to isolate everyone. I fucking love wrestling. Wrestling's fucking hilarious, man. It's entertainment. You know, I haven't watched it in a long time. I lost interest in it after the Attitude Era. But I loved that clip where that guy just slaps down the reporter when the reporter says it's fake.
Yeah.
And
I remember that shit.
yeah, it was fucking hilarious. Absolutely fucking hilarious.
My grandfather calls them spandex soap operas.
Spandex soap operas. Yeah. Yep. I personally, I don't want to see it written on the screen at the beginning of a video. Just put it in the description of the video, maybe a declaration at the end of it. But yeah, I just want to be entertained. Are you not entertained? I just want to be entertained by whether it be a good story. And if I find out later, I'm of the opinion, oh, well, that was some amazing fucking storytelling. Yeah, and I'll appreciate how much work went into creating this amazing story.
Yeah, when you understand what actually goes into making a video, and not just a video, but actually like a DayZ kind of movie, like what JLK does and what Frankie does and what anybody else does, then you find out it's scripted, where it was before you thought it was organic. You do have a much more appreciation about the processes go behind it. Similar for like modding as well. It's like the only thing people see is the end result.
Yeah.
They don't see what's behind the curtain. And when you understand it, you appreciate it more.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to blow everybody's minds. A good 75% of all the unscripted videos are still staged. I don't care what anybody says.
I kind of agree with you. You know, whether it be even some streams. I've watched people streaming and there's items on the ground and I go, I have never seen an item spawn in that location in all my hours. And it just makes you think, is there an admin running? I was watching someone, I'm not going to say who, and they were like, oh, my food's getting a bit low. And they come across a town in the Molsk and then suddenly there's food. And I screenshotted it and sent it to an admin friend of mine and said, does food actually spawn there? And they're like, no, that's not a spawn location for food. And I was like,
I mean,
what the fuck, man?
That.
Yeah.
I've had admins and servers when I was streaming, they would I would be dying and then I would go in a house and there'd be something incongruously sitting there. And then I would be like, huh, that's random. And then you get a little winky whisper on Twitch and it's like, please don't do that, man.
Yeah.
Like, just let me starve to death. It's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when
pay attention watching streams, guys. With some people.
Yeah, or a shotgun that's fully loaded with slugs.
What were you going to say, lad?
I was going to say, I remember when Sumrex started streaming 1.15, when that experimental came out, and he spawned in, and he had a fucking AKM on the coast, and we all took the piss out of him for it, like, oh, fucking dev loot, streamer loot kind of thing. Just like, oh, look at him, someone's spawning in stuff for content, oh, kind of thing. But he explained how he got it. It was due to like some like developer side stuff. That's how he got it. But it was to do with I can't remember the exact term it was. I think DanceofJesus might remember. But he got the AK, right? And he was, when people would come to him, he would aim the gun and he'd be like, do you want it? Do you want the gun? He didn't want the gun. He wanted to give it out to somebody, and every single one of them basically told him to go fuck himself and tried to like run away. So I killed him. Yeah. So it was like, I thought it was funny though. Actually, that reminds me, he's just been partnered.
Adam has.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sumrex partnered on Twitch now.
Really happy for him. Really happy.
You got that quick.
He took forever though. He was averaging well over 100 for a long time, and I kept on saying to him, when are you going to take that partner or go affiliate? And he always felt kind of bad about it. And I said, no, mate. Let people decide whether they want to throw money at you. That's their prerogative. People want to be able to support you. We know that He's employed as the lead dev of DayZ and that. But you provided so much entertainment, and I know he's received some very generous donations as well. I was even part of a bunch of people. We got together and we raised money to buy him a new gaming PC. But people want to do nice things for nice people, and Sumrak is probably one of the nicest people in the DayZ community.
He's definitely one of the most genuine. He's been with the community, since before he was hired, making the mask for Arma 2. And then actually becoming part of the DayZ development team throughout alpha and then, beta and then now the lead developer. And he's always so friendly to modders. He's helpful as much as possible.
Yeah.
And, the fact that, he did stream for so long without, getting even like people would be telling him, oh, just go for affiliate. And he says he got the option to. He just didn't want to press that button to say, yes, I want to do it. And then eventually he did. And now, after 3 months? After 3 months, he's partnered.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Yeah. There's people who come out of nowhere and get partnered in 30 days. I mean, he did it the slow and steady route.
Yep.
Yeah, he done it the correct way, I feel. Because it was like, he showed off at first. He doesn't need the partnerships. He doesn't need the affiliate or anything like that. He's just doing something he enjoys. And now it's like, well, why not? You get a little bit of cash here and there. That's perfectly fine. People sub. People have a laugh with his emojis, like the broom rack, which is fucking hilarious. Where it's just an emoji of or an emote of him just standing there with 2 brooms on his back. So, which is great.
That is something. He has the accidentally most hilarious stream of DayZ, in my opinion. Because every time I watch him, I laugh my ass off.
Yep.
And he's so humble and modest when he dies. He never gets mad.
Yeah.
It's there you go. DanceofJesus is posting it. But what I really find interesting about his content is that when he streams on the mask, he doesn't tell anybody he's the creator of it. He calls himself a fake name for people.
Yep.
And they talk to him and he has a laugh and he just enjoys it organically and properly. He doesn't give off any hints that he knows anything about the detailed part of the map or anything like that. It's so fun. It's
very good that he does do that, because I hate people when they're streaming or something, or they're streaming on, I don't know, their own map or something, and they go around saying that they're creating it, they're just constantly telling people that they made it, they done this. It's nice when people kind of act like they don't know who they are. So then if you're talking to somebody and they recognize your voice or something like that, then it'll, it's a cooler way. Interaction.
I used to pretend to be him on my stream and no one knew who he was. So the joke kind of died, but that was before he started streaming again and shit.
But no, props to Adam for actually getting to that point now.
Congrats, bro.
I mean, this is when we find out that it was all a plan, a big grand plan for him to become Twitch partner, so he leaves the dev team. If he does, I'm going to be fucking pissed.
He might not make much in Bohemia, but he's going to make way less at Twitch, trust me.
Yeah,
now
fuck it
maybe the money that he uses from subs and donations and stuff, maybe he'll put towards the mask buying, maybe different assets or something like that as well, So,
no. Nope, he won't. One more update, one more major update for the mask, and he's done with the project.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if you think he's been working on the mask since Arma 2, and he spent a long time porting everything, getting everything right, and working with Inclim and Dab for the DayZ standalone version, and now it's coming up to Christmas, he says he's got one more major update for this year, which will probably come around after 1.15. And then that's it, he's done with it. And he's going to work on something else, which, to be honest, cannot blame the lad at all. Cannot blame him.
Yeah, maybe he'll put all his Twitch partnership money towards DayZ 2.
Yeah.
Fund it himself.
Sumrak himself funds development.
Yeah. He'll call it Sumrak Gaming Studios and think DayZ 2.
Now, a question in chat here for you, Marks.
Hi.
You haven't webcammed in a few weeks. What's going on?
I just didn't feel like doing a webcam. Just don't like doing it.
They're missing your beautiful face.
Well, See, this is my ultimate plan. I'm going to make an OnlyFans where I post selfies.
He's gonna fucking starve of his face. Where it's like we have no choice but to go to his OnlyFans. Okay, that's.
Do you take a Shiba coin?
Anything.
Monkey jizz.
Monkey jizz.
That was actually a scam coin. Monkey jizz. Yeah, it's oh my god, the fucking crypto thing.
I just don't feel like running a webcam. That's just the main reason. It's no real reason for it.
Yeah, enough. The question got asked. We've asked, so yeah.
Remember that yellow ass computer you posted on Twitter?
Yeah, it gave me cancer.
I have a question. When is the Storm Cloud realizing another classic YouTube vid?
Releasing.
Archie?
I'm on Pornhub now.
Oh my god.
That is
As soon as I get the script finished.
Yep.
No, I'm kidding, man. Hopefully soon, bro. I'm moving. I got a lot of stuff going on. I move next week into my new house. I've been working here and there on some stuff. Like I said, it's really hard to get content. I'm trying to go more for more trolling vids, I guess, and less.
That's your forte, mate. That's your forte.
Yeah.
That and base rating is your forte. Your trolling videos are some of the best in the business.
Yeah, I'm not. This is going to sound like I'm being conceited or something, or maybe that's just my own whatever modesty. But people always recognize my voices now, so it's really hard for me to troll people.
Yep.
Or maybe it's just like my antics. I don't know. It's to the point where it's. I'm gonna have to get a voice changer and try to sound like a girl or something. I don't know, but I'm working on it. I promise.
Or you can just basically say, "No, I'm not such and such," but I get that a lot, so thank you.
Yeah, I always say I've never heard of her. And they're like, you always say that. Anyway, It's coming.
Speaking of the scripted videos, I wanted to mention all my non-gameplay videos are scripted.
Oh, you're
shut up.
Wow.
Holy shit, that joke took way too long for me to catch. My bad.
Chris, I've been told to ask you about the C4 Sounds base raid.
Oh yeah, so me and my buddies had an ingenious way of raiding a base. What I did is to the base raid, one of the base raid was C4 mods from the game, broke down I think it's called the PBO file, took the sound files from it and looped it on my phone. And what we done is went to a base, put it on repeat, and they actually ran out the base, and we just went straight in, killed them, and we didn't have to use a single bit of resource.
That is fucking ingenious.
We used to do the same thing with the bandaging soundbite, and people said it was cheating.
It's not cheating.
You play the soundbite, and aim your shotgun at the door, so they think you're bandaging and run in.
Oh, that is cheeky. That is very cheeky.
Yeah, it's nice. I can't believe they ran out though, man. That had to feel good. Idiots.
I think the worst thing is we ran in and then we actually closed the door, not realizing we couldn't hatch it or use pliers to get out. So we stayed in the base, prone and quiet until they returned, and then we killed them, ran out. It was awesome. I just couldn't believe it.
That's class.
If anyone wants a sound, give me a shout.
It was like saying play the deer call so people leave the base to get them.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah. Okay, probably a good time to segue into the next topic. YouTube getting rid of the dislike button. What are people's thoughts on that? I've got my own thoughts, but I'll leave them until you guys. What do you reckon, Chris? Sorry, let's clarify. They haven't gotten rid of the dislike button, but you can't see the dislike tally now.
As me as a person uploading, or other people who are the audience?
You, the uploader, will be able to see the amount of dislikes your video received, but the audience will not be able to see how many dislikes a video has.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. I think it's good to know if you're on the right trail and people are liking your, what you're uploading. But if people can see it, other than that, it doesn't matter to me if they can see a like or a dislike.
Yeah.
Archie?
Without getting political, I honestly think it just has something to do with the fact that every time there's some sort of, I don't know how to say this without getting political, but I honestly think it's because people are brigade disliking, or, you know, maybe they don't like that. If I see a video that has 80% dislikes, which are mostly political videos in the States, or something to do with COVID-19 or anything the White House posts, it's almost always like a 90-10 ratio dislikes to likes, right? And I don't know if there's that many people who go in there and hit dislike just because they want to like stick it to whoever. But I personally think it's got something to do with that. I mean, Netflix did the same shit when people were trolling Amy Schumer. They claimed that the reason her special got 1 out of 5 stars was because trolls, but it was just because the funniest thing about her special was the fact that she had a special, not anything in the special. But yeah, I honestly think it's that, man. Anytime, because people aren't clicking these videos anymore, you know, because they see the ratio right there before they click it. And I mean, no one's going to watch it if it says 85% dislike ratio, unless you're just curious about why it sucks so bad.
See, I look at anything that's of a political sort of nature, and I disregard the like to dislike ratio on it, because that's butthurt people from either side of the political spectrum just downvoting because that's the other team and I'm going to downvote it. So I don't think it ever really had any impact on that. I'm not a fan of it, and primarily one of the reasons I'm not a fan of it is. One of the best things, particularly when you're looking for a guide to something, on how to do something. If a guide is a good guide, people will upvote it. And if it's a bad guide, people will downvote it. And it was an easy way, without having to delve through all the comments on a video, to see whether a guide on something was legitimate. Because there's a lot of malicious stuff out there. People tricking people into deleting Win32 files and or downloading, spyware and stuff like that. And YouTube, for as good as its algorithms are at, flagging content and that, when it comes to the malicious stuff like that, even some of these crypto scams and stuff like that, it's just made it harder for people to identify what is legitimate content and what isn't. I think it's, I hate to use the word because I know it offends some people, but it's snowflake territory. If you don't like it, you could always deactivate the likes and dislikes beforehand, as I understood it.
I'll just say I hit dislike if I don't want a video type in my feed again.
Yeah.
And I don't, because dislikes don't affect the content creator. It still counts as an interaction, like I say every time I'm on here. But if I see some type of a Rust video that pops up that's just not up my alley. I watch a lot of Rust stuff, but say I don't like the whatever, I'll hit dislike so that it doesn't, that kind of content doesn't pop up in my feed again. But also I think it sets a bad precedence, because next it'll be, they're going to get rid of the likes on comments. You know what I mean? In the comment section. It's just going to, because now those people, if those people were being malicious, they're just going to go to that where they upvote the most, toxic comment in the comment section. It's going to be the same. They're always going to find a way around it. And I mean, they did away with rating before. I don't know if, I know Boydie, you might remember, but like 10, 12 years ago, that YouTube had a star rating thing. And then they got rid of it because they said, people are using it maliciously. I really don't think anyone's going to organize 20,000 people to dislike a video, or even pay for that, because I'm sure you can buy dislikes.
I think a lot of it's more corporate. When you've had things like the Pepsi, with Caitlyn Jenner, or fucking whichever Jenner it was, bloody offering the can of Pepsi to the cop, and wow, why didn't I think of that? We could solve world peace with a can of Pepsi. And people backwired the Gillette ad, which said men are bad. People retaliated on that one. It was like, come on. I think that they're more worried about their corporate sponsors, who were creating these videos and then spending big money to have them as ads that ran on other videos, and their videos were just getting smashed into oblivion by the dislike button.
Almost any mainstream media too.
I will say, when it comes to the dislike situation, I think it's absolute fucking horse shit that they're getting rid of the public way of seeing it, how much dislikes a video's got. I think it is as Miller Waltz and quite a few people in both chats said, it's to do with corporate. As we all know, every single YouTube rewind that has ever been made has been massively disliked because
not everyone.
Not everyone.
It was only once they started going woke. About the last 2 or 3 of them got absolutely fucking smashed.
Okay, fair enough. But regardless, they got dislike bombed all the time. YouTube has now said they're no longer doing it because of that. Whether they've said it publicly or not, everybody fucking knows
they have. They publicly said
reason. Well, there you go. So, but there's a lot of benefits to seeing how many dislikes a video has gotten when you're an audience member. Content creator, yeah, fair enough. If people don't comment on your video but they must dislike it, then you can either say, well, I'm getting like dislike bombed, I'm going to ignore them and continue doing what I'm doing, and then potentially your content will fail. Or you can take it on the chin and be like, right, I'm doing something wrong here. Time to look inward, see what I can do to change that, which is fair enough. But when you're an audience member watching any kind of content, reviews or guides or anything like that, like you said, Boydie, if a guide is shit and you can't see the dislike, you're wasting time going through that video just trying to figure out, okay, is this going to be good enough? Or a review for a film or a trailer for a film, because it's very easy to block comments from appearing on your video. You can just disable the comment section, same with your likes and dislikes, which to me speaks more about the content that's being delivered. If a trailer comes out for a film and they've blocked all kinds of ways to communicate back, I am not interested in this is shit, then it's quite obvious it's fucking shit. It's like, how do I explain? So, with YouTube taken this step, which by the way they ran in beta for quite a long time with like beta tests and stuff like that, it was overwhelmingly negative. A lot of people who participated in these tests were overwhelmingly negative of these changes, and they said that to YouTube. They said, do not make this change, it is not a positive change, it is only going to hurt the community, and it's going to hurt the company. What did YouTube do? Well, we all know what they've done. So, and it's like, it's not even a new thing that they've done. It's like they've removed the dislikes number from comments. They have removed video responses, as somebody said in chat just before. Yeah, Pindai, he said they removed video responses way back when. They replaced the star system with what we have now, which, by the way, was not a good fucking thing. But it's more comprehensive now. But now they've just made that comprehensiveness even fucking worse. It's like, look, how can I gauge feedback for a video? Because I'm not going to be trailing through tens of thousands of comments on a video to find out like if it's completely shit. Yeah, you can see the overwhelmingly majority. But at the same time, what if they block comments, but they keep the likes and dislikes? What if they just completely get rid of it altogether?
They're already blocking comments. Anything that with the whole, what's it called, relevant comment thing. I mean, honestly, if you stop shoving shit down people's throats, they're going to stop hitting dislike. When I click, I'm not interested in this, please don't show me this anymore, you give me the option to click that, and then you still put the shit on my feed. Like, I got so sick of hearing about COVID. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry to bring it up, but I'm on YouTube every day like most people are. I'm browsing through my feed, and the third row down is an entire row of COVID shit that I've clicked 100 times. I don't want to see this anymore. It's got 90% dislikes. People are tired of hearing about it. And then below that is some stuff from news agencies. I don't watch that shit. I click, I don't want to see this anymore. And they still cram it into my recommendations. That's the reason people are clicking dislike. That's the reason we don't want to see it. Stop forcing it on us and let us just look at fucking,
what we want to look at.
Whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's the thing as well. It's like, one of you, I can't remember exactly who, I think it was yourself, Boyd, about like bots and whatnot, or buying likes. You can buy dislikes, and you can make, like, if you have the know-how, you can create bots that'll just automatically dislike your video. If you get rid of the public numbers, that's not going to do anything for anybody. That is just going to make it even more worse for the content creator themselves. Like, because then it's like, right, they can't see what they're doing, but they know it's going to affect me. So it's like you're exacerbating the problem, trying to address a different problem. It's like, what the get your fucking head on your shoulders, YouTube. What are you doing? And
they're just
like
gonna find a way around it.
What do you think, Marks?
I think people are overreacting too much to it. Instagram removed likes from their thing a couple of years ago,
and they brought it back.
They brought it back. YouTube will do the same thing. Dislikes will be back in about 5 years, maybe less. Disliking a video does nothing much. It helps a video more than anything. Comments are the worst. So at the end of the day, people are just overreacting to it. In a month's time, you won't hear nothing about it. So it's as simple as that.
Marks in his comment sections, man. It's fucking a gold mine.
Yeah. They all come out to play on your videos, Marks, don't they?
They do, to be sure.
I just wouldn't let the fucking comments get to you, because at the end of the day, a large majority of people who comment on a video negatively don't actually present any constructive feedback. So it's like you read a comment and it's like, if it doesn't tell you how to improve a video, if it doesn't tell you why they think the video is shit in a proper way, fuck them.
You definitely don't listen to the people who tell you to improve your videos. If you listen to that, you may as well just...
There's nothing wrong with taking criticism and feedback.
Oh yeah, but when they're going, oh, this is how I would have done the video, and then you click onto their channel and you realize they have no videos, it's like...
No, that's fine. That's why you look for certain keywords.
I would headbutt them.
That's all right. I had somebody in one of my, that DayZ GTA 4 intro video I made.
Yeah.
Somebody told us that I wasted their time and my time by making it. And it was like, right, okay. So I checked out their channel and they made a jogging video.
You should have commented the same thing on the there. It's just when
I like jogging videos. Did the guy have a nice ass, or was it like a first person?
Now, we had the patch come out for 1.15. I can't find a link to the patch notes for it, though. Anyone got one?
Hang on. Yeah, I do. If you went to youtube.com/marks and looked at my most recent video, you would have found it. Just saying.
We need a shameless plug soundbite, too, with the cricket soundbite.
Yeah.
There you go. It's in the Twitch chat.
So the big thing was the change to the on-screen indicator for when you're being hit. What did you think of that when you saw it, Chris?
Do you know what? I don't even... Is this out already, right?
On experimental only.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really like it. I don't think if I was to be hit in real life, I'm going to see like red either side, whichever I'm getting hit from. I don't particularly like it. I think when you're probably going to be in a gunfight or some sort of heated battle, it's going to be probably more of a hindrance than anything. Trying to get out of that situation. It's going to probably disorientate you somewhat.
I did like that they made it so that you can set them on or off on a server. Archie, what do you think of that? Lost you, mate.
Can you guys hear me?
No, I think it was a problem at my end.
I think this part just cut out there for a second.
Yeah, it just reminds me of those old arcade games back in the day where the shooters or whatever, and it told you there was a guy to your left shooting you. I don't know. I think the execution would have been better, like aesthetically, because it just looked really shitty, honestly. Like I hate to say that because I know it probably took a ton of work to do, but maybe if the graphic was a little better, but I don't think it's needed in DayZ. So I'm glad as far as I know, they removed it since, because people the backlash was kind of heavy for it. So yeah, not necessary in my opinion.
I was getting mixed feedback now. I said in my video it was removed, and then people were coming to me going, no, it hasn't been removed. And I went into offline mode on DayZ in the newest update, and it was removed. So I don't know what the story is.
Yeah, that's your gold mine of commenters, bro. They always argue. Trust me, I know. You know. Was it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I love putting out a YouTube video, and you get this shit straight from the game files, and people are like, "That's not true." Okay, dude, whatever.
I like what Nitno said though in chat is it does help either the deaf or the hard of hearing people in game. I
Yeah.
saw that comment on Reddit as well. That's one of the big things. But it's good that they have a toggle section. If you don't like it, turn it off. If you like it, have it on. Who gives a fuck at the end of the day?
I don't want to be ableist, but if you're playing DayZ and you're deaf, you're gonna have a hard time regardless. I don't think that's gonna help you that much.
It's interesting, this one, they adjusted the size of the inner circle of the org reticle to match a person to 300 meters, which is what the site actually does. Your average person fits inside the reticle at 300 meters. So I wondered if they were listening and taking notes from last week's episode when I was talking about that. You put the donut on the person at 300 meters and, yeah.
Maybe.
I definitely think they listen to this podcast, man. I've seen a lot of new implementations that were mentioned here, either in chat or by one of the hosts.
I'm still, by the way, hello, I'm back. I'm still fucking convinced that they done that head touch thing to the eye slot because I said I was going to do it. I'm still fucking convinced. You can't tell me otherwise. Hashtag change my mind.
I mean, you're probably right. You guys, you guys have a really big platform here. I know I say you guys like I'm not involved, but this is a big platform for the community. I mean, whether people like it or not. So it's where they can come and get direct, unfiltered feedback, and they know that we're not going to kiss anybody's ass.
Do you know what they should do before adding anything else? Just fix all the bugs. Just fix the bugs.
Can we ban him? Can we get rid of him?
Get him out of here.
Get him out of here. Just fix the bug.
It wouldn't be DayZ without bugs, Chris.
Oh, but they become such a nuisance at times.
Features. Unintended game features.
Unintended features. There we go. Yeah, I mean, don't get us wrong. DayZ's always going to be right for bugs. And this is not us sucking their dicks or anything like that. You know, it's just a matter of fact of game development. Every game is going to have bugs. I mean...
What?
Archie said not that he wouldn't.
All right, I'm going to say this. I've been playing DayZ. This is going to sound elitist. I don't give a fuck. I've been playing DayZ for like 10 years. Anybody who played before 6.3, from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever, this game used to be fucking unplayable, and I still played it. You couldn't go downstairs. You couldn't go down ladders. You couldn't run down hills. I'm saying you could, but you would die. You would step on a root and die. Like, when people, and I'm sorry, ChrisFPS, I'm not attacking you, bro, because it is a lot of people in the community who have the same sentiment. What I think the reason I don't complain about the bugs is because now it's like leaps and bounds better. Like, I really don't even run into bugs anymore. I run into more bugs when I play The Last of Us 2, to be fair, that I do on DayZ these days. Maybe
there's still a few that are pretty bad, like the one where sometimes you can't see a gun in someone's hands, and
I've never had that one.
I've seen it. I've had it.
I will say though that when it comes to the amount of bugs that DayZ currently has, it's all down to one thing: desync. That's all it is, the networking. Once they improve the networking, you'll probably find that a lot of things will get fixed at the same time. It's like people comment a lot about, fix cars. Cars actually fucking work. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that on low to medium pop servers, cars work wonderfully. But when you start to get to that 60-player limit, that's where it starts to go downhill.
Or your ping is high on a server as well. That's another big issue with vehicles.
Exactly. DayZ does it really well with ping, however, at the same time, but it's not quite there compared to other games that use servers. People's like. I've actually seen this comparison. People's compared DayZ to Call of Duty in terms of networking, where Call of Duty is better than DayZ in terms of networking. But it's like, well, one, there's a lot less players. Two, they use peer-to-peer. They don't use servers, typically. Well, they do use servers, but they use peer-to-peer primarily. Once the engine gets more refined, once Infusion gets more developed, because at the end of the day, that's what every update does. It refines Infusion. Once they do that, then it'll get better. We also need to remember, it's not just one engine DayZ is running on. Do you know how complicated it is just to work on one engine, never mind 2 or 3? It's fucked. It's absolutely fucked. So anybody who can actually figure out, to get around anything like that, I give them fucking credit where credit is due. But Peer-to-peer,
engines, man.
Dog, is basically, and gaming's been using peer-to-peer for fucking over 2 decades right now. It means that one person is a host of a server, right? And they'll get their advantage, right? And then everybody who is connected to them is exactly that. It's connected to them, and they'll all kind of like leech, so to speak, off of them. So it's the same with Call of Duty or Halo back in the day. You'd all join into this one person's lobby and play the game that way. So if a host has a really bad internet connection, everybody will suffer. But if they have a really good internet connection, the experience is smooth. But the host will always get the advantage.
Yeah. Yep. It used to always be good in the old Modern Warfare 2 days when you had the host connection because you knew you gave. Fuck me, I needed it because I suck at PvP. But yeah,
mate, you'd know you pissed off the host if everybody's experience started going bad because they'd be using a lag switch. I remember those days; they're fucking great. But no, but host migration. Oh, it's a pain. But when it comes to the bugs in DayZ, yes, DayZ has bugs. Yes, it has some critical ones. But the more people comment about it on the feedback tracker, which, people criticize themselves, and that's perfectly fine. The feedback tracker itself isn't perfect. But again, it's Bohemia. It wouldn't exactly be Bohemia if it wasn't perfect. Just keep reporting bugs. Just get down there and get that done, and the game will improve. And, for the past 2 years, 3 years even, the game's been, like you said, boys, leaps and bounds better than what it used to be. So it's
and it's still not perfect, but I guess that's why I don't see the amount of bugs, because used to you couldn't not see them. I mean, there's still the weird thing when you try to run downstairs and get stuck in the wall above the door or whatever. That happens to me every now and then. The floating, yeah. But I notice that one every now and then. But I haven't even
they're
seen
so much better than they were in years gone by. You bang on the money with that point. I don't think it's quite at the stage that we're being nitpicky now, but it's nowhere near as drastic as it used to be, where it was borderline unplayable, if not unplayable.
God, when the zombies used to get in the floor of the house and you couldn't get away from them, I used to hate that, man.
How hard would it be to switch DayZ to a new engine? Fucking hard.
Difficult.
Yeah, they haven't even brought everything back from 3.6.3.
That's what I hate. People are like, switch the engine, but then people don't realize if they switch the engine, you're back to square one again. Because the people who are also asking for the engine swap are also asking for all these old items to be added back in. They don't realize they'll all have to re-added in again.
Yes, so that's the thing. It's like the way DayZ functions is that it's, any kind of engine, you try and swap everything over, then you're gonna have to use a new kind of code base. You're gonna have to use new techniques to get the textures applied and the configs and everything like that. The engine that DayZ uses or engines is unique in a way where you learn quite a lot doing it, but it's one of the most complicated engines to work. But if you want complicated, Halo 2 PC, I shit you not, that engine is being quoted by the developers is being held together by duct tape. They don't know, they made it and they don't know how it works at all. It's fucking hilarious. But with DayZ, if I remember rightly, and people can correct me if I'm wrong, it uses 3 separate engines: Infusion, RV, Real Virtual, and a different engine to handle ballistics. The ballistics is the most advanced, I guess you could say, that's currently on any platform right now. The amount of detail that can go into it and how it all functions and how it's all calculated. Yeah, exactly. Bless Jesus, I've been working on that project with him. I'm pretty sure he's just ready to fucking take a sabbatical for the rest of his life. But transferring everything over to a new engine like Unreal is a massive feat that'll take at least a couple of years to get everything right. There's just no way that they're going to do that with Unreal. Whereas in Fusion, they only have to do, say, half the job when it comes to doing everything. So see if that ever happens when Arma 4 comes out, but fuck knows. We'll just have to see. No.
Say they did. Tarkov is on the Unreal Engine, right?
Unity, I think. I'm pretty sure the lighting looks like Unity.
Unreal. It's Unity. Yeah, it's Unity.
It is. What's the difference between Unity and Unreal? Is there much?
So they, if I remember rightly, they use different processes to do what they need to do. Unreal is a lot more user friendly than Unity. The way that I would judge it, based on like kind of, I wouldn't say skill level, but complexity, is Unreal is easy because you can literally just make a game with nodes that are already pre-packaged into the engine. Mm-hmm. Then you got Unity, which is, it's a bit less friendly, but it's more familiar, and you can't get into it. And then you just got DayZ, which is like fucking hard to get into.
Yeah. You have to do a lot more coding on your
limitations. Yeah, it's more so like, I would recommend, if you're going to get into modding like I did, or anything like that, start with DayZ, learn the limitations of the engine, learn your own limitations and go about that, and then move on to the more easier engines, because then that way it's like, right, you have a steady knowledge base on how to do models, scripting, textures, shit like that. And you don't have those limitations anymore. And with Unreal 5 coming right around the corner, oh, baby, I can't fucking wait.
Yeah, I used to have to go to DOJ for everything modding or, packing PBOs or anything, because it was just like looking at another language. And then when I started developing my project in Unity, I should have went with Unreal because there's more of the assets are free. They're more user-friendly, like you said. But I went with Unity because, honestly, I like the aesthetics of it. But now that I've had to teach myself, because you have to be an autodidact with that stuff, because there's really not a lot of, unless you want to pay for a Udemy course, you have to learn it yourself from YouTube videos with some guy in Punjab with a fan and he's chewing gum and the videos are unwatchable. But yeah, I can now look at like mod script and see where things are wrong, and I actually understand the language and what a true false statement is. But it definitely, like you said, I can absolutely agree. I would start with DayZ modding if anyone's interested in doing any sort of video game project.
Yeah, because let's just put this. Go on, Max. Go on. No, go.
I was just going to say, I was thinking you were talking about the Unity engine or whatever. Is that more console friendly? Because if DayZ can barely run now, imagine if you put it on the Tarkov engine. Tarkov barely runs on PC half the time.
Unreal and Unity have better console. I was going to say I can't even
adaptability.
Say it.
I got you, bro.
Thank you.
You guys invented the language, and I got a better concept. Though.
No.
DOJ speaks better English than you, lad.
Why? But Unity and Unreal perform better on consoles, definitely. I mean, if you think a lot of games in the past like 15 years or something have been using Unreal, and Unity is slow. Well, I would say slowly catching up. They're pretty much on par. A lot of indie developers actually use Unity. I think the end result, like the costs, because Unity will take a cut, are a bit better than Unreal. But Unreal's got the better techniques and better stuff to go along with it, which is more user-friendly.
Look, I'm going to reserve judgment on whether DayZ should go to a new engine until we see what Arma 4 looks like.
Yes.
With being solely on the Infusion engine, apparently. So that's going to be...
I think it's going to be good. I've took a look at the workbench. I've finally started learning it. DayZ uses workbench to do quite a lot of stuff, and there are settings there for physically based rendering, which is what pretty much all engines use, but DayZ's engine. Obviously, it doesn't work with DayZ yet because it's not compatible, but it's kind of like a slight peek behind the curtain to see what potentially we can do. So
if you compare the difference between Arma 3 and we can use Frankie's videos, Chris. His Arma 3, it looks clunky. Arma 3 does compared to DayZ. So I'm excited, Chris, to see what Arma 4 with the full power of this Infusion engine that they've developed. Because you've got to wonder why they did choose to just continue with their own internal proprietary engine, as opposed to just using some of the stuff that's out there on the market?
Well, they use what they've made because they've been using it since Arma 1, right? You know, the engine's advanced and it's gotten better over time. It's like Bethesda, for example. They have, I shit you not, for their latest games, they have used the same engine as Elder Scrolls Morrowind. They can label it whatever they like, but it's the same engine. They just keep adding more and more to it to make it better. It's one of the reasons why Fallout 76, when it first came out, was so goddamn awful, is because they basically taped on multiplayer code onto the engine to make it work, and it didn't work properly. The old legacy issues that you'd have, like looking at the ground to increase your FPS, makes you go faster. And it's like,
I used to do that in DayZ. When I was driving cars, I used to have to look at the dashboard. I remember that.
Sake.
I just want physics back, man. You said a physics engine, and I just started thinking about all the times I shot people in the leg with bows and they just wilted. I miss that so much. Arma 4 is that what we're waiting on though with the Arma 4 engine? Is the physics?
That's my guess understanding of it.
I feel like DayZ is literally just a test bed for Arma 4, and I'm fine with that.
Oh, it clearly is. It absolutely is. I mean, however, the M16 that was introduced a couple of patches ago was confirmed to be from Arma 4. It was just backported into DayZ.
And I'd probably assume the FAMAS was as well.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, the FAMAS definitely was. And see that. And see, that's the thing. It's like you look at those guns, right, and they are visually so much nicer.
Yes.
Than the other vanilla guns. So it's like they really are increasing the, I wouldn't say performance, but the visual fidelity of Arma 4 to the point where they're making vanilla assets in DayZ really nice.
Yeah, because it feels like to me they're putting in some things from Arma 4, like you're saying, and then to like compensate for that, they're just taking the most popular mods that the community is making, and then putting out official versions of those. You know what I mean? Like
which I think is
which
great.
is fine because most games that are open to modding do that. Like My Summer Car, I play that all the time. All the like the top 10 mods, literally the guy just took those mods and ported them into the game officially. So, and I definitely see him doing that as well.
And they added in that new the Batty character, and you said that the quality in that one looked like way better than the rest, and you even showed it.
It did, yeah. I mean, when you compare the 1.0 character models, like especially in terms of faces and that, to the current Batty one, the Batty one just looks so much better. And I'm totally not biased whatsoever because Batty is an absolute sweetheart, but I genuinely do think that the model for her, especially the face model, is just so much better than what the DayZ devs have been able to handle in the past, which I think is a really good direction to see where we can go. With this, I do hope that in 1.16 or above, or whatever comes out for the next year, we do get a graphical update. I really do hope so.
I was just going to mention that.
Yeah,
I thought it looked like Lad.
They're hiring a artist or something in there to work on their dev team.
and I'm going to apply for it.
So maybe, are we going to see Arma 4 sometime in 2022? And maybe now DayZ are gearing up by hiring all these people. So when they make the full engine swap, they can just...
No, I don't think Arma 4 is going to come out until maybe end of 2022 or 2023. That's what I think will come out. But yeah, I mean, I've contemplated and I've talked to DanceofJesus about it. Like, I might apply for the artist position, so that'll be fun.
So I have a question. The character that they introduced that looks like Lad if he shaved his beard, that's based on an actual person? Because
it was based on the old community manager for DayZ.
That's why
before beta.
Because I saw the tattoo on the back of the neck, so that was an actual tattoo the person had.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so I thought they were kind of like teasing like customizations or something, but I guess not.
No.
Would have been cool.
Now.
No, Batsy in... Sorry, Boydie. Sorry.
No. You kept finish the point.
Right. Yes. Yeah, because Batsy in Peter, I think it was. I can't remember if it was Peter. Both of them, like, quite a few years ago, they were in the studio to do face scans of obviously their face. But nothing came from it at all. So nothing like that ever happened until now. So I'm hoping. Batty wanted the tattoo. Well, there you go. So I'm really hoping that in the future we'll see some of the OG devs or even current devs getting their faces into the game. I think that'll be really nice.
I want Dean Hall back because his nose had more polys than every building in DayZ.
Oh God.
Now the uncon timer. Running Man put a tweet out. We'll watch the clip. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 seconds.
No way! I hit him in the head when he was down. How the fuck did I not realize?
I don't know what to say, man. I look at that right there. Yes, he got shot and went unconscious, sure, but the guy's had fucking breath coming out of his mouth. How did you not see that, dude?
And he says in his tweet, I made mistakes in this clip and I appreciate it led to my own demise in some ways, but the uncon timer, that's just not long enough. That's not long.
They're changing it, I thought. Didn't they say they're already working on it?
Yeah, changing it. Yeah. They are already. So, in fact, I think it's because of this tweet, or well, not just because of this tweet, but because of the general feedback, they are going back to change it. They'll never go back to what it used to be in 1.12, which I'm thankful for. But they do need to still continue to tweak it to make it better.
I remember back in the old days where you could be uncon for 20 fucking minutes of laying there, just staring at your screen, going, "What is going on around me?" And
you
if
are
you
unconscious.
You were out for fucking ages. Now, I'm not saying they need to bring that back because a lot of people have only got an hour or two, to play the game at night time, and to spend 20 to 30 minutes of that time just laying there uncon. Go make dinner and come back still uncon. But 9 seconds, especially when you watch the clip, he drops the guy. That looks like a headshot to me. That he should have been out for at least a minute.
That's another thing with the game, though, is the bullet damage. And I know, like, every other update, they change it. If you shoot someone in the head with a 9mm, oh, he does have the Gorka helmet, but still, it was a face hitbox shot. It looked like. So he should have been dead. That's the thing, though. You have to, like, adjust for the adjustments that the devs make.
Every time you knock someone, you put 2 on their head. Every time. Doesn't matter if they're already dead. You still put 2 on their head.
But not everyone wants to, Marks. Not everyone wants to. The running man there, it looked like he was going to try to disarm the guy and then maybe try to interact with him.
Touche. I retract my previous statement. I see what you're saying now. Looked like he was looking for something to bind him with.
Yeah.
Well, why would he have shot him in the head then if he was down?
True.
Yeah,
also.
that's it. That's it. That's what you got to take in consideration.
Yeah, not everyone just wants to kill. Some people do want to be able to drop someone, tie them up, and then interact with them. It's at the point now where you have to do what you said, Marks, where you have to double tap and just kill them because you can't take the chance that they're going to come out of uncon while you're still struggling to remove any weapons from them or find something to tie them up with.
Yeah, and also you got to count in the adrenaline there when you get in a gunfight in DayZ, even if you're barely geared like it looked like Running Man's was, still you're not really making those best decisions. But there is an entirely different flop pose that the guys go into and they die.
Yeah.
I always just look for the air coming out of their mouth. But
yep.
I guess it's just...
Also, in regards to getting shot in the face when you got a Gorka, if I am correct, and I hope if there's any modders here, they can correct me if I'm wrong, but even if you're not wearing a visor for the Gorka helmet, that hitbox does affect.
It's still there.
Yeah, it's still there. So with Gorka helmets, you have to maybe do 2 or 3 shots extra because even though you're not wearing the visor, you're still getting the protection of the visor.
What do you think, Chris?
DayZ devs really need to address it.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think I've had similar scenarios in the past where people wearing those helmets and the visor, and it was questionable whether having that visor or not made any changes to that hitbox or the damage you could take. But I don't think it does.
The only thing that visor changes is it makes your head look like a fucking car headlight.
Yeah.
Because literally at night, during the day. I've seen so many people from so far out because that it's literally like a LED dartboard.
Yeah. That might be the case, Realty, but I am not too sure, so I am going to just absolutely double check to make sure I'm not, saying shit. I might be wrong. I would hope I am wrong, but I will quickly double check.
I'm nearly certain. I've done a video where we've tested all armor and helmets on different guns a while ago now, but I'm nearly certain it is literally just a visual effect.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is too.
Now, while you check that, this was good to watch.
Oh, yeah.
In case he wants it. I've got... No! No! Fuck!
Ooh!
Twat! Motherfucker! Oh my god! I knew what was happening too, and the door was locked. The god...
I
In case
love
he wants
Amish.
it.
I love Amish. He's just the frustration, and yeah, as he says in his tweet, I blame Wobo for this death. Archie, I reckon you watched that video of Wobo's with and you were just like, oh, yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, I
yes.
loved it. I actually have a couple more in mind that I'm going to use in a troll guy. But that honestly was like my favorite video he's put out since he came back. And I've noticed a lot of people that right there, the guy step by step used one of his tricks.
Yeah,
that was the one where you triple. I was doubling them up so that people couldn't get away as fast, and then I saw he was triple stacking them. That's just that's evil, and I love it.
Yeah. Sour Sweet got done as well, which I thought was pretty cool.
Hey, King. Oh, motherfucker.
Instant.
He did
Someone did the timer.
Wobo. He did the Wobo trap.
The Wobo trap.
It's only going to be a matter of time before Wobo viewer does it to Wobo himself.
Yes.
Or his own tips and tricks come back to haunt him.
They're taking that out too, right? In 115.
Yep. Thankfully, they listened on that point. And like I said, I would love it, Chris, if they added in that grenade that we found out exists, the F1 grenade in Russia, which has a timer on it, and made that like a tier 4 loot, so people could find it and still be able to do it. I just didn't like the fact that you could do it with any grenade in a mechanism that is completely unrealistic.
Yeah, I miss the tripwire with a grenade. I do miss that.
Yeah. No, I'm so thankful that it's back. Because it's added. Even when you go into like the toxic zones, it's harder to see there because of the gas. So you're having to move more carefully in case someone has put a tripwire grenade there on you.
I just want to be able to attach sawed-off shotguns to them.
Yeah.
I think the best combination is tripwire grenade, bear trap.
That was sick. I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was absolutely fucking disgusting. I love it. I'm gonna try it one day.
Yeah, that's the only thing to me that's more satisfying than getting a tripwire kill is a fucking bear trap kill, because it just scares the absolute shit out of them when it happens too. I used to plant gardens on the coast and put bear traps in the pumpkin patches. I love it.
You fucking bastard.
Hey, DOJ, I think it was his idea actually. Though.
Well, that I'm definitely not surprised.
Why not fill a room, fill the room with landmines, just completely fill it with landmines, and put a tripwire at it, so when they obviously trip over, they'll open the door and run straight into a room full of landmines.
I think
because it would just knock them out.
Marks.
It would just knock them out. Yeah.
If they have a vest, yeah.
It was good to see it being shared, and in good faith as well. Some people might have raged and fucking Lobo, why did you have to share that and all the rest of it? But they took it in good stride, and Yeah, I've got to give Army Shah credit for that. Well done for sharing it and having a laugh about it.
That's another thing, though. Now that I think about it, the last time I was on the podcast, somebody said something about why can't we turn barbed wire into metal wire into barbed wire, and now they changed that too. I really feel like they listen, man.
Yeah, yep, it's good. Just simple little changes that add a bit of quality of life to the game. It just it makes people happy, doesn't it, Chris?
Definitely.
It's so funny watching that. Poor bugger. And he was geared to FAMAS and everything, and yeah. Now the big one. The big post by the one, the only Asmund. I didn't get a chance to go through this, but 45 quality of life suggestions. I reckon we'll probably see some of these things get implemented. Who got to go through it all?
I did, and I just want to say, sorry, lad. I don't know why he doesn't have a YouTube channel. He would be making so much money, and he's doing this for free. I hope people appreciate that. And he's also paying for, it looks like Photoshop, and then he puts so much effort into this. Anyway, I love the guy. It goes without saying I'm a huge fan.
He is a true ambassador of the game. So what do we got? Being able to set locked attachments by default on spawned vehicles. Love the idea. Yep, it'll minimise the griefing. The people who just come along and take everything off so it despawns, and then all you've got left is the shell of a vehicle. I know they can still shoot the engine to ruin it and so on, but you've got the pipe wrench now, which will repair it. But totally logical for me. Feel free to chip in on any of these points as I'm going through them, guys. Allow players to interact with doors while aiming or performing simple actions.
Please.
Yes.
Please, yes.
That collider is, I see where they're going with it. It's great, but it gets you killed, and it gets you kills a lot. Especially CQC needs to be revamped a lot in the game.
Even this one, I loved this. This is about as far as I got. Add the existent rusty textures to functional vehicles.
I thought that was already in, but that aesthetically is very pleasing.
Yeah. Allowed to see, not interact the inventory of a surrender survivor. Makes sense.
What's the justification with that one? I know I don't mean to talk on every single one of them.
I've already mentioned this suggestion in my previous post, and I think it is very important to bring it back on the table. If you want to check some inventory to identify a possible threat, you're forced to either tie them up or ask them to drop everything on the ground. In both cases, the interactions usually end pretty bad because there is no reasonable middle ground between the willingness to interact or both. In order to deepen interactions and increase the chances of encounters that do not result in a mere KOS, which is part of the game and should always be present. It would be good to allow inspecting the surrender survivor inventory when he performs the raised hands animation. This could be limited to 3 basic conditions: having your hands up, crouched, raise hands position instead of the standing one. It should be limited to C, not interact with hostage inventory. There are lots of servers that have already implemented this system through mods, and it works really great. It would be a shame not to have it in vanilla.
Yeah, and then I could trick people into letting me see what they got by giving me a high five all the time. That's a good idea.
Make the tents placement less restrictive. Yeah, we talked about that, how...
well, they've kind of already addressed that.
It still sucks, though.
It still sucks.
It still sucks, dude.
Can't place them in houses either.
Base building, too.
Well, we talked about this one a couple of weeks back. Nerf restrict the leaning or sprint while running and aiming. As much as some people won't like that, but we talked about that, and I think we've reached a happy middle ground on it. Increase the speed and traction of the M3S. Oh, I've got an M3S at the moment on the DayZ Down Under server, and at the maximum I can get to is 30 kilometers an hour. It is absolutely you're scared shitless driving the thing because you are such an easy target.
Have you went downhill in that thing yet, Boydie?
Yeah.
That's the only way to go over 50, and then you can't get it under 50. It's insane.
And a red line so easy, and it's just the gear ratio on it is terrible as well.
It's one of the best bases in DayZ.
Increase the light source's glare while using NVGs, definitely. Anyone who's worn NVG's IRL knows that bright white light is the mortal enemy of you.
That'll be very difficult to do without actually changing the original, but that would be really nice to do.
Add an audible indicator to the consuming pills action.
Yes, this needs to be added. Because you don't know when you've taken a pill. And so if you don't remember the number that's in the bottle, you'll think you haven't taken it, so you'll take another.
That's
and
true.
you're just wasting meds.
Yeah, but it makes a noise when you feed them to someone else, which is weird.
Yeah.
I think that might be a bug then.
He's got a good point there with the reduce the amounts in general lifetime for human steaks, bones, and fat. 14,400 seconds, 4 hours.
Fuck that. Yeah, they need to get that reduced, definitely.
Mm.
They need to slightly... Yeah, it should be more akin to the other kind of meats. Maybe an hour at a stretch, just to make it whatever.
Pindai saying the M3S is running on the off-road gearbox setting. Okay.
Yeah, the M3S is the best off-road vehicle in the game. It flies through fields. Absolutely flies.
But its speed is limited compared to the Arta. The Arta, for me, is the best off-road vehicle because it just hoons.
Mm-hmm.
But its traction is amazing. It's the best for traction off-road, for sure. Mm-hmm. Add a short delay before the auto-alignment of the sight scope when entering ADS.
Yeah.
So just slower... Well, no, not slower ADS. Yeah, slower. Okay. Require more gun skill, I suppose, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Distinct low-pitched sound for the Screamer infected. As we know, since 1.13, we have new types of infected, each with its own particular attributes, being the Screamer is one of them. Every time they aggro a player, they attract multiple infected to this area where we shout. The main issue I always have with these infected is that even when they are visually identifiable because they are dressed as officers or generals, the most important characteristic of these, their scream, goes a bit unnoticed since it is exactly the same as the rest of the infected. I think it would be ideal, simple, and would add a lot more to the experience to add or modify the existing ones, a much deeper, lower pitched tone to their scream so that even without having seen it, we could tell that a screamer has screamed and that you're probably in big troubles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Make it bone chilling.
Allowed to cut medical scrub t-shirts into rags. Makes sense
Why
to me.
can't we? That should have been done a long time ago. Thank you.
Add a dark vignette to during ADS in addition to the already present blur effect.
Yes, I agree.
Yep, I agree.
Add a sound effect when zeroing your weapon to prevent the need of any HUD element. Yeah, like a click of moving the scope.
Pretty much anything that requires any kind of audible interaction needs to be implemented.
He brought up a very good one. You'll see down here in a minute.
Yeah, I even agree with that as well. Allow to repair hard surface containers with an epoxy putty.
I don't know why that's not a thing. I still don't know how to repair barrels, by the way, and that would make so much sense.
I don't think you
could. Yeah, I don't think you can either. I just didn't want to say that and then someone argue with me. But yeah, I don't know. I thought that was a thing, but I guess it's not.
This one I didn't even know that you could still bury a ruined container.
Yeah, that's how you keep it from despawning. That's a glitch.
Make binoculars smaller and attachable. Yep, we've talked about that before. Because I very rarely grab them.
Yeah.
I don't ever have the space. I do love them, though.
What were you going to say, Mark?
The same thing for gas masks as well.
Yeah.
For gas masks in with the binoculars, make them either smaller or attachable to a belt or a backpack.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be so easy to tell visually.
Yeah. Because I think the only visual indicator you should really have is the breath.
Yeah, we don't want anybody getting Running Man out here, you know.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's a good point. The lifetime of the pack tents.
Yeah.
Add an audio.
They should just repost this as a roadmap.
Add an
So it's
audio
desperate
cue for the
needed.
dehydrated state, like when starving. Agree.
Yeah, definitely. That's the trouble though. It's like how, or
Like a hard swallow
how do
or
you-
something.
Yeah, like how would you tell you're dehydrated? Like with
Because
audio, like
your character
smacking
will
lips,
go-
maybe.
Or make them clear your throat, you know?
No,
One more time?
you got it right.
One more
Your
time,
character
Chris?
go-
You're all welcome.
Or a
Your
very,
character-
very, a
characters
very,
should,
very.
Your character should be able to go, "Oh fuck, I'm thirsty."
I'm thirsty.
And that should be.
I need some iron brew.
I'm terribly thirsty.
I think I need some iron brew.
But this I don't understand why they're not spawning certain sawed-off weapons, sawed-off Mosin, sawn-off IZ, sawn-off double barrels and
Especially on
that.
the coast.
Yeah, I will also say I really think that they should implement more. That's one of the main reasons I think the tripwire should have sawed-offs on it, because no one saws their shit off. You know, I never find sawed-offs on people or anything. I do it because I can whip it out and blast you with it. No one does it. And you should also be able to saw off the repeater and make a mare's leg. I don't know why you can't.
And yeah, you can do that as an admin, but I think he's talking more about on vanilla. It'd be nice to find them. Because it even just creates that uncertainty, Chris, of oh shit, did someone drop their sawn off, or is this a spawn? Or at the moment, you find a sawn off, you know someone's been there. So yeah. Reduce the lifetime of empty garden plots due to inactivity. Agree. Allow the ability to craft improvised splint by using duct tape. Agree.
Yeah.
Yes, and bring the duct tape soundbite back.
Yeah. Craft an improvised tripod, one use only. Agree.
Yes. I'm working on a mod for that, actually.
Unconditioned action of grabbing or taking out items.
What does he mean by that?
This is something I suggested quite some time ago, and every time I played DayZ, I noticed that it would be extremely necessary for the smoothness of the gameplay. A little bit of context to explain this idea. Not that many updates ago, the reserved slot system was implemented. So, for example, if you have two long rifles on your back, right shoulder, left shoulder, and one of them is in your hands with the reserve slot on one of your shoulders, when you try to grab another long rifle, you wouldn't be able to do it unless you manually drag it to the reserve slot. The reserve slot system is excellent because it avoids what happened before its implementation when players unintentionally throwing items to the ground when looting other items. However, there are some situations where we would like to avoid this manual mechanism and take or pull out an item imperatively without any restriction. For this, I suggest that through a hold key of a few seconds, we force our character to replace or drop the item in the reserve slot or hands without the need to open our inventory. Let me show you an example of how it would work. We have an AKM in our hand and a Mosin on our right shoulder. The AKM has the reserve slot on our left shoulder. We see an M4 on the ground and we want to take it fast. If you hit F, we won't be able to grab the M4. If you open our inventory and drag the M4 to our character, we won't be able to pick it up either. We will need to drop the AKM by holding G and then hold F to grab the M4 into our hands, or 2, open our inventory, drag the M4 to the reserve slot for the AKM. My suggestion, if we approach and hold F for 3 seconds, this weapon will directly replace the reserve slot of the AKM. That makes sense to me. It really does. I know what he's talking about now.
Yeah, that wouldn't be hard to implement.
Yeah, that's quite a big brain suggestion there, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember the amount of times I've had to push tab to drop an item to pick it up, or a weapon.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same as the new, like, where you can pick up rabbits and fowl, you know? You have to hold it and then it takes it to your inventory, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Allowed to add full backpacks inside vehicles? Yes, please.
Yes.
If you've got, if it's empty, it should have a smaller slot. And once you start putting stuff in, it should, to keep it simple, just go to max the same size, Chris.
Yeah, 100% agree.
You can do it with sea chests, so why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, precisely.
Fucking annoying. It's really fucking annoying. Maybe you had a fold animation or something, I don't know, but something, because it's annoying that you can't. Even barrels.
Yeah.
Allow players to extract gasoline from vehicles into a container.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is a mod, but it needs to be vanilla.
Handcuff players should be able to get inside vehicles for themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love all of these.
Add a sound effect from grenades seconds after they have been thrown. Well, we all know even Sumrak has died to that. Someone threw a grenade at him and there's no audio, and
Yeah.
Bro, even
That's actually made a
PlayStation 1 games had audio for grenade throws, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
HUD-free screen representation or sound effect for the bleeding state.
Yeah.
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 I feel like they had one.
that's-
Didn't they have like a laceration sound effect and a bleeding sound when they first brought it back?
It's very hard to differentiate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't. Sometimes you just don't notice until your screen changes color, and you're like, "What am I bleeding?"
Yeah, exactly. It's really hard to see too, even because I only play first person, and you can't see it. But even in third person, it's hard.
Mm-hmm. Obtaining berries after cutting bushes. Yeah, I miss berries.
Yeah, I do too.
Clothing state should also impact on the max cargo capacity. I agree. I know a lot of people won't like that, but I agree.
Another reason to actually look after your clothing.
Yeah.
It also like generates an issue. It's like, okay, what happens if you got fully decked out, like a full inventory in a hunting jacket, and then he gets shot? Does his stuff fall on the floor? What happens to it?
I know when I played on modded servers, and we had an issue where they put a mod on and it affected the bum pack being able to attach to the Smirch vest, and it would just drop everything on the ground. So, and a message actually popped up, basically saying that there was a conflict issue or something, and your gear has been placed on the ground.
There's that on vanilla too. Yeah.
They could add an audio that a ripping sound or something, and that could be your cue to shit. Something just ripped. Did I drop anything?
Right. That would be kind of. I don't know. I think that would piss me off just because the zombies can hit you from so far away, and I'm constantly having to repair my clothes because I get stuck in a doorway or something, or they hit me from 12 feet away. That would honestly stress me the fuck out, but it's still a good idea.
Enable vehicles respawn timer based on inactivity or reduce its lifetime if it is actually working. I've explored quite a bit in this regard, and I could not achieve a functional system where vehicles disappear, for example, after 5 days of inactivity. I think this is key to the intention that I've been arguing in several suggestions in the past, in this post, that vehicles are part of the service without, after a few weeks, completely disappear because they are either scrapped by the players or are abandoned and unused in some corner of the map. One establishes through the different variables that we can modify that a vehicle disappears after X amount of hours and the event is generated again, and it just doesn't happen. The car remains there permanently until someone destroys it completely, which is not the case. My suggestion, and at times question, is to know if it is possible to add this mechanic or correct it in case it is not working correctly, and set a lower lifetime to the vehicle's event after they leave them somewhere on the map and completely independent of their condition, the presence of ruined parts or any other type of feature. Respawn based solely on activity. Thoughts?
I will say, used to, you could burn the cars with a matchbox or a lighter, and it would get rid of them. If they would just re-implement that, I think. Yeah. I don't know why they got rid of it. I know when we came over to 6.3, they didn't bring it over, but you could troll with it, sure, like when you base rated, but they can do that anyway. They could just shoot your car all the shit. But every time I found a car that was flipped or stuck or whatever, which is not, they don't nearly get stuck like they used to, but even still, if you find a car in the middle of nowhere that's stuck in a lake or something, you could just torch it,
Yep.
So, and
they implemented that due to a bug that was going on back then. So it was kind of like they were trusting the players to kind of mitigate that issue, and it did. So, but they fixed it in the beta, so they got rid of it because they didn't need it anymore.
I mean, I see what he's saying to an extent. The only thing I could think is, I don't know what the vehicle timer is right now. I think it's 45 days, but on vanilla. But I know a lot of times I have 3 cars at my base. I'm not going to use all of them constantly. But, you know, I definitely agree it could be decreased, but
Yeah.
it could also be remedied by just re-implementing that, you know, just that burn car mod or a mechanic.
I know there is mods out there where you can go up to one with a wrench in your hand and destroy the vehicle and that, but I've had to do it a few times where you've got to go loud because you don't want to waste your suppressor, and you just shoot the engine until it goes red and black smoke coming out, and try to get it to respawn. But not everyone will do that. Not everyone, you know, someone might have just found a working vehicle and not have a gun to be able to do that. They get it stuck somewhere and they've just got to abandon it.
Yeah, and then no one else can use it because it's stuck in the middle of the map somewhere.
Yeah. Alternative despawn system for spawn cycling dead fresh spawns bodies. Another suggestion regarding dead corpses is a bit more complex and is mainly based on the concept implemented in the body removal mod by Danny Doone. Let me give you some context. For those who do not know, this mod forces the despawn of dead fresh spawns bodies in a shorter time than vanilla. For example, 5 minutes, and you can set any time if a player has respawned within a certain definable time. Then, for example, if you die in the Northwest Airfield, dead body A, then respawn in Berezino, suicide within the first 5 minutes of that character's life, leaving the dead body B, and gets a new spawn in Chernogorsk, the dead body B will disappear in a much shorter period of time, and as long as there are no players nearby to see how it disappears in their faces, then the dead body 1, that will remain for the vanilla lifetime. This avoids several things: littering the map with dead fresh spawns due to the spawn cycling, abusing the spawn cycling mechanic by obtaining starting fruit in an almost infinite way. I really think that a similar system could work well in the vanilla DayZ experience. Yeah, he's got a point.
Yep.
Allow to manipulate attached communication devices through keybinds. Oh, that'd be nice. Being able to turn your radio on and off, switch frequencies, and
you can already do it with head torches and night vision goggles and stuff.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
more worms if you use a shovel or farming hoe. Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. Gives another purpose for the shovel.
Hatchets and axes should allow us to get bark from trees. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
Fucking almost anything should allow you to get bark from a tree.
Yeah, if I can skin a chicken with a screwdriver.
Yeah.
Like,
Communication devices should relate with the dynamic events. I know there are probably countless complexities to make this possible. That's why it's not really a quality of life suggestion. But I think what is really important is the main concept behind it. The idea is to establish a much more direct link between communication devices and dynamic events so that it is through them that their use is enhanced. How could this be achieved? One example would be to play some kind of sound, alarm, broadcast, Morse code, or symbol beep through the radio when an airstrike is about to fall within a range of 5 kilometres. Another example would be to track heli crashes, signals in a range of 2 kilometres by using a field transceiver as a backpack, giving a real utility to this device. Anyway, there are dozens of ideas that I could come up with to link communication. Anything that gets people carrying a radio and having it turned on is a good idea, in my opinion.
I agree. 1,000%. I honestly think you should spawn with them like you used to. I know Jesus, if DOJ's still in the chat, he just got a hard on listening to that, though, because he had us chasing around this phantom scream sound before the airstrikes happened for like a week straight. So it's supposedly in the game lore somewhere, but he's really
I agree. I think players should spawn with a radio and a battery for it. Just, you know, if they get rid of it, so be it. You can go into the server files and change what people spawn with on a custom or a community server if you don't want that. But it's just going to enable the more chances of interaction, people listening into each other. But yeah.
Well, also, most people, this is all vanilla, and most people playing vanilla are going to be new players. And if they can interact and get to know somebody on the radio, before they meet them in game, in person or whatever, in an interaction face to face, they're going to probably be more comfortable. Maybe not. I don't know. That would definitely help new players.
And yes, got to get rid of that constant static. That's not how radios work.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Stun effect and minimal shock damage when throwing things to a player. Yes, please. Yes, please. Just even for the troll factor of it. Just sitting there, your teammates, and you throw something at them, and they're like, "Oh, I just got hit.
Yeah.
I just got shot." Yeah.
Could you imagine sitting on the roof of a house just throwing rocks at a guy trying to drink out of a well?
They've got that in Scum. I watched some guys doing a stream where they were fishing, And admittedly, it's a bit OP and scum. This guy had a loaf of bread and he was pulling crumbs off and he was chucking crumbs at one of the other guys and he was triggering him. So what the fuck is wrong with my character? He keeps flinching and, just, yeah, it's... And that is a good image.
Back, man. We need the physics back.
Yep. Namol snowballs. You can do it with the Namol snowballs. You need to be able to do it with, basically throwing anything at another player. And it'd be great if there was physics attached to it. You throw a bloody field receiver at someone and fucking knocks them out, or a rock and you hit him in the head. But yeah. Yeah. Adding a horn to vehicles. Yes.
No,
please.
Where is that? Please. Yeah. Come on. Why is that not that was such a simple mod too. It was like one of the first mods.
Contaminated areas versus airstrikes, a more dynamic approach to toxic zones. What's this one about? This is probably the most controversial suggestion of the post, but I would like you to at least consider it. It would be interesting and an extremely useful addition for the gameplay to be able to slightly differentiate the static toxic zones, permanent with high tier items, from the dynamic toxic zones resulting from airstrikes. In what sense? Let me explain. We all know that the static toxic zones have created the goal of obtaining the complete NBC suit in order to loot those high tier areas. In other words, this objective is based almost exclusively on the position of looting tier 4 gear. While interesting, this meta is somewhat limited and runs out rather quickly since many players abuse this system by hiding an NBC suit in the vicinity of static areas in order to loot regularly. On the other hand, the dynamic toxic zones, or airstrikes, 95% of the cases are reduced to the idea that one must escape from them. Thus, there are not too many gameplay opportunities after an airstrike since besides running away, because there are hardly any players running around the map with all the NBC equipment. Again, a very limited meta. My suggestion, the idea is to generate a difference between dynamic and static toxic zones using the best of both scenarios. In the case of the dynamic toxic zones, they should only require a gas mask with a filter, of course, to avoid any kind of damage. In other words, the dynamic toxic zones should not generate cuts in our player. On the other hand, the static toxic zones, since they have, according to the law, a permanent contamination for some reason, added to the fact that they contain high valuable loot, they do justify the need for the full NBC suit as an end goal meta. What will be the result of this? A higher incidence of dynamic toxic zones in the game where players can actually play inside them and use this amazing new feature as another PvE threat and not only be forced to run away. I get what he's saying and I agree. I agree.
Yeah, me too.
You could even have had the argument being that because the static ones are, static, that, you just add some, maybe some containers that look like the toxins leaking from that, Chris. So, it adds a reason why the concentration of the gas is so much more at those toxic permanent zones.
Yeah, I love this idea. I mean, all of these ideas, I mean, I just don't know why they're not in the game.
Yeah.
Hopefully there will be soon. There's one thing I will notice, Boydie. I don't know when you were in the service if you had to go through the gas chamber training.
Yes.
If they do that. So do you remember, I don't know if you do or don't, we had to stand there with no mask on, and then after they gas you, you put the mask on.
Yep.
Do you remember how the gas blocked out the light so you couldn't really see?
Yeah.
I don't understand why when the gas strikes hit, it's still basically like broad daylight and you can really see through the gas. It'd just be one more aesthetic, but it could also add another element of danger because you can see way too well. I mean, maybe that's just because, you and I have been through the training, but
Bob in chat's a fucking sicko. He says he loved the gas chamber. I hated it. This is tear gas training, folks. We're not talking about toxic gases. But there was one guy I knew who was basically almost immune to tear gas. And they love to do things to fuck with you when you were in there because it's all about putting you under stress to add to the danger of, because it's still quite dangerous. Some blokes ended up having to go to the hospital from screwing up the seal on their mask and just inhaling a big lungful of tear gas. It's not fucking healthy. And when you've seen tear gas being used on protesters and rioters and all the rest of it, that's quite dispersed. We would do it inside, basically like the field, the military tent in DayZ, and they would have a little container of tear gas burning, so it was extremely concentrated.
So bad.
And you would have to go in there with your mask either sometimes on or sometimes off. So as you walked in, you took a big lungful of air, and everyone had to be in there, and then they would start asking you questions to start to disorientate you, because it immediately hits you, even though you're holding your breath. The irritation comes in, and then they start, what's your name? What's your rank? What's your serial number? What's your favourite rock band? And most of us would be like, poison, fucking, spell your name backwards.
It's so bad.
And just this one guy, though, I still remember him. I know it's a long story, but it was just, he's gone in there and they're like, what's your name? And he goes, Private James Serini. What's your regimental number? And he says it, say it backwards, and he says it. And all the rest of us are, like, what the fuck? How is he not reacting to this? And it was the question about what's his favourite rock band. I'm not actually into rock, sir, but my favourite composer is Johann Strauss. And we were all just like, how the hell is he doing that? And then, you had to bring your gas mask out, and you get taught how to create a seal and all the rest of it. And then you finally... But then you go out and snot is just literally running from you everywhere. I see Bob just, blew the snot bubble, and
I went in with a sinus infection, and I left it on the floor in that room when I went out. It was so bad. They made us do jumping jacks because you sweat and it gets in your pores, and then your whole body's on fire. But you see the reaction from that gas. It will fuck you up if you're in a town that's consumed with it and you don't have a mask, or even if you do. I think it should be a little more.
We would always have to do a PT session before we went in there, just to get all the sweat pores opened up, and it's itchy, and it's fucking horrible stuff. I do have some resistance to pepper spray, though. I found out. I got pepper sprayed, and when they first introduced it in the Australian Army, and they sprayed me, and within 5 minutes I was back in the line getting ready for it. And the guy who sprayed me, because you have to get, once you got sprayed, the rule was you couldn't spray someone unless you'd actually been sprayed yourself. I never got to spray someone, because the guy goes, what are you doing back here so quick? And I went, it was minor irritating. I scraped it off and splashed it on, and then I was fine. And he goes, you're one of these people with natural resistance to it. And I went, I don't know. And he goes, can I do you again just to see what your resistance is like? And then he's just come in right up on my face with the spray can and just put a big stripe of it right across, and instantly I breathed in and I went, oh shit. And no, I had no more resistance to it. It's nasty fucking stuff, pepper spray.
I cheated. I put our commander said put chapstick across your eyebrows, because they spray you on the forehead. Yeah. It didn't work. It didn't work at all. It still fucked me up.
I spent half an hour in agony. Pretty much I turned a fire hydrant on and just stuck my head in it.
They were pouring milk in our eyes. It was fucking terrible.
You do not want to get pepper sprayed.
Since you're like immune to it in a way, you should go out and start doing criminal activities. Stand there like you're a god.
Yeah.
No. Sorry, I diverted the conversation. My bad. I just wanted to throw that in there.
No, it's a good conversation, man. That was fun to actually talk about. You brought up some memories for me of the training and tear gas and all the rest of it. But no, back to his point, I love the idea of it. That the random zones are not as concentrated, and you can maybe after 10 minutes you start to get a cut or something like that. But not as full on as it is at the permanent mega concentrated areas with the high tier loot.
Yeah, I kind of agree there, definitely. It's a nice balance between going in there and with just a mask and not really feeling much effect. Yeah. Because you still need to be careful about stamina, because when you wear a gas mask, your stamina regenerates slowly. But it also curbs the fact that if you go in, you're still going to get the effects, just a little bit delayed.
Yep.
So you still got to book it in there and get out.
Add an animation for when turning on or off NVGs. Agree?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, so I would imagine that can easily be fixed. Because with a certain LOD in a model called View Pilot, it basically changes how a model looks. So you'll see with certain guns, like a shotgun, for example, the View Pilot, the stock is actually much lower than it is on the actual model in your hands, just so it's better for when you aim down the sights. So they're going to probably do something similar with that, and make it so it actually appears either as the actual 3D model or even an overlay, like an overlay that appears or something like that, maybe. That would be really, really nice touch. And you definitely know if your batteries run out.
Yeah.
For sure, when you've got this big fucking thing.
I would even like it if there was, it started flickering as well when your battery's low.
Yeah.
I can't remember, Archie or anyone in chat. It's been a long time since, 20 years since I was in. So NVGs have evolved a lot in that time. What happens when the battery starts getting low with NVGs these days?
So the info blues or whatever, they start dimming out to like gray scale.
Yep.
And then the greens, I only wore them one time. I was standing lookout on the submarine. They literally just cut off.
Okay,
like
so the green is correct then.
Yeah, it just turned. I mean, it like flashes a red light, but you can't even see it because it's on the outside.
Yeah.
And it's like a little LED on the bottom, which kind of defeats the purpose of trying to be. Which there's a light though, like a little light that you can see someone who's wearing NVGs. You know what I mean? Because there's a little light around. There's like a halo effect. But yeah, they just cut off. But the blue ones actually like them better, and it's optic. It's a one-eye optic, monocle optic or whatever. Monoptic.
Mm-hmm.
It's they should add those to the game, in my opinion, because hunters use those all over the world for night hunting, and they actually, like I said, they go to grayscale and then cut off. But it's pretty close in the game. I'll give them that.
Add vegetation on the roads. Yes. I've loved driving around on Banov where you panic at times. It's like, where the fuck did the road go, Marks?
Yeah, it would be cool. Especially on Chernos. Chernos needs it. Chernos looks too clean for an apocalyptic city.
Yes.
Or just the entire map in general. It looks too modern for it. So it needs to be roughed up a bit.
Some of these modern maps that are coming out, Archie, are really showing Chernoris up a bit. Chernoris is still my bow. I'll always go back to Chernoris, but some of the work that the map makers are doing is fucking amazing. You really get that feeling of, whether it be an apocalyptic village or just the overgrown status of the game.
Yeah. Jesus and I had that original idea a few years ago when we started working on He ultimately got drafted into the expansion team for it, but I ended up not working as much on it because I had a full-time job in the military and stuff, but he spent hours, probably hundreds of hours making that overhaul, not nature overhaul. That was someone else, but
that was
he did that. He literally went in and played. This was before it was easy like it is now. If you think modding in DayZ is hard now, you're crazy, because he went in and manually placed and rotated thousands of trees and bushes and little logs, and he put grass over the roads, and expansion picked it up because it looked so good. Even the devs were tweeting about it, and former devs. But yeah, that definitely, I 100% agree. I've spent a lot of time myself working on stuff like that.
I really hope it does come in a future update for this, because if you think, Chernarus has changed and adapted over the years. Like, the map's gotten bigger, there's been more towns added and stuff like that. But it would be really nice as a nice little touch.
And I can say their
really
nature
shows.
overhaul for Cherno paired with CJ187 high grass is stunning.
I agree. I think Jesus's mod with Summer Chernarus is probably the best, though, and not just because I'm biased, but because I guess it's closer to the original concept that I was hoping for. Because then again, though, they intentionally left. A lot of people get upset because there's no interior stuff in the houses. They left that stuff kind of empty so that you could base build in there, because the new houses that they've redone, every room is full of random shit and you can't put anything in there.
Yeah.
So you got to keep that in mind too.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, it would be really nice in a future update where it's like Chernarus has finally shown its age. Just taking into consideration how long it's been in development, it would be nice to have a Chernarus that actually reflected that now.
Chernarus Redux.
Something to do with the frame rate. I know DOJ looked into it before.
Yeah, it's all about performance. But
Now, we'll come back to this. we'll do the last one. Disable the vehicle parts HUD indicator when driving a vehicle. I've had that as well, where you're driving and you turn and you look at a part of the car and that part's ruined and you're like, what the hell? They're just constantly flashing up and they're fucking annoying. That would be really, really cool. But fucking amazing list of stuff there from Asmondian.
Yes.
I'm a massive fan as well. My dream is one day to get him on the podcast. He's a god of the fucking community, and he deserves way more attention. And like you said, he does it all pro bono. He's just,
and that takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
To take the pictures takes time. Then editing them, and then typing all the stuff up, and then it takes it's so time consuming. Like I just really hope people appreciate what he does, and he's literally just getting attaboys for it. He's not getting any type of compensation other than that.
And he won't let you send him stuff either. Like I said, I've tried time and time again to send him something, and he always comes up with an excuse as to why I can't. And he's the sort of person that makes the world a better place. Sorry, Max?
I agree with you there 100%, buddy. If somebody was ever wanting to make a vanilla server and have all of his suggestions from this post and the previous post in one server, it would be insane to see how that would actually function. I know it'd be all mods, but it'd be really, really cool to see all of them in, so you could actually get a feel for what it could be like. I'd love to see that happen at some stage.
Yeah.
And I suppose probably 95% of the suggestions are probably already mods anyway. So
yeah, I think so too. I mean, just make it a mod, and then devs will take the script and roll it over into the official game anyway. So if people like it.
Now,
I do say there's one more before you get off the topic. There should be a soundbite for when your suppressors ruin or your tools ruin or something, because I know some people like the edge of having to stop, open up their menu, look at the condition of their weapon before they fire, or their suppressor before they fire again. I think that's stupid as fuck.
Even on suppressors, the sound should change a bit as the state of it deteriorates as well, to give you a bit of a visual indicator, because I've had so many times where you're in the middle of something and the next thing you're fucking uber loud and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you pop 2 zombies and then the next one's full send, but yeah.
What about if they added like more gases coming out of the suppressor as it like gets more and more and more damaged?
Yeah, I mean the guns do smoke more the more damage they get. I have noticed that. I thought it was crazy, and then I saw it in the game files.
No, they changed that. Yeah. They changed that recently. I think it's 114.
Oh, damn it. See what I mean? Hey, I just want to say, if the devs are listening, I love what you guys have done. I'm not shitting on you. These are just, suggestions from
This is all from a place of love.
Player. Yeah, the suppressor thing, and throw in some oil filter suppressors too while you're at it that we can find on wreck cars. But anyway, I'll even pay for the mod if I need to. But
now the performance thing that you mentioned, lad.
Yes.
Banov.
So
Banov is a strange one.
Interesting.
Banov is kind of contradicting a lot of what I believed. That, the more assets on a map, the more it affected the performance. Now, Banov is 256 square kilometres, all land. No massive amount of water. From what I can tell, it's got a lot more assets than Chernerus has. The entire map is ringed by walls, which is assets that the server has to generate every time. Why are we not seeing such a massive decline in server performance with it? I'm not hearing anyone complain about server performance playing on Banov on high pop servers. Is it just that I'm not seeing it, or what's the deal there? Can anyone explain that to me?
I will say that I haven't seen any performance issues or even experienced it. But I think one of the reasons why is like, how do I explain this? One of the potential reasons might not be the actual one, but one of my theories is that, with Chernarus, everything's so clumped together, right? Mm-hmm. In your render, which is usually 1K, you can have 2 or 3 towns, maybe, if that, right? Rendering in infected, a bunch of buildings, God knows what else, right? With Banov, it's quite a lot of trees, for example, and those trees are scaled up, right? So they'll render the same amount of polygons, but because they're scaled up, you need less of them, in my opinion. Because when, like, say, for example, if you have a bunch of trees all clumped together to kind of like fill in the top so the sky doesn't, like, the light doesn't get through as much, that's great too. or you can just get a couple of trees and scale them up and do the same job. That's what he's kind of done, I've seen with Banov. Plus, there's a lot less. There's a lot, but there's less towns from what I saw. I could be wrong there for Chernarus compared to Chernarus as well. Even the big city performs well. Yeah, exactly. That's right as well, which is really interesting. I think he's done a really good job overall with it and trying to make it meet his vision while also saving on performance. But as DOJ said, if you spawn in objects in a certain way, like in a non-baked way, that can cause performance issues, which is what modders have to do on a pre-existing map. So say, for example, if you were to make a town normally...
What does he mean by a non-baked way?
Yeah, so maps, all the objects are baked into the map, right? It's like how do you do it? It's like they are part of the map.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
No, it's fine. It's like they are an actual part of the map, right?
Right.
So
it's not a prop; it's a part. It's like if you have a Lego, you're building a Lego piece, right? A Lego set, and then you stick a tree on there. That's not land and a tree now. It's all one thing. Is what.
So how do you do that wrong? How is that? Because
so
you're saying
you would only be able to bake it. You would only be able to bake it if you were to actually be creating the map itself. Right, so if, like, say for example, Archie, DOJ, and I making this new map, right? Every single time that we do an update to it, we are baking the objects into the map, right? Which, and then we are doing a certain other thing like binarizing it, which makes performance better. Now, if somebody was to come in who's not part of the team, that's not part of the actual team at all, and they use DayZ editor to put in a bunch of stuff in, then the performance will drop. But that's not a fault of DayZ editor. That's just a general thing with the engine itself. It's not baked into the map. It's something else that has to be loaded on top of it. Which is why you'll see like mods or servers that'll have like these massive map edits and stuff like that, and the performance will fucking tank. But if an actual map was to have it, it'll be fine.
Right. So basically, every new item is a new line of code. Sorry, lad. Yeah. You cut out. I thought you were done.
No.
Every single new item that you add is another line that's got to go in, and it's something else that the game has to render because it's not baked in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So as whilst the DayZ said, objects can be hard-coded in the map file, but via editor, every object needs to load when a player is near. Exactly. So I'm not 100% on that information. I could be wrong. Like I said, if anybody more experienced wants to correct me, that would be fantastic. But from my basic understanding of it, that's how it'll function.
It's the same way with Unity, like when you're making. So like when you get near a huge base in the game, right? Your game has to render all of that because it's like a player spawned object. It's the same thing with like non-baked items that are added into like a map edit or something. And I hope that makes sense.
Okay, it does. Don't it make sense to you, Chris?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I didn't realize it until you explained it then. Yeah, and it's obviously, I've realized probably when going into towns and when being on, experimental with Chernarus and, seeing the amazing work that Jesus had done with the changes. It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. So that's probably one of the reasons why. Next time I talk to Cabello, I'm actually going to mention it about it. So, Zyzen, objects loaded via DayZ editor or create object scripting are dynamically loaded by the client and contributes to server lag and extra messaging. Objects in the map do not do this. However, both affect client FPS. There you go.
Yep.
There you go. Okay.
Knowledge.
Any future map makers out there, it's not worth it.
Shut up. Shut up, man.
Speaking of maps and people be doing maps and stuff, it was in the podcast Discord that Kafina gave a statement about his Redux thing he was doing for
EOS.
turners. Yeah, EOS.
Yes.
Yeah, that was it.
Thank you. I knew I'd forgotten something.
It was obviously on hold because XTK blew up more than he was expecting it to. But he did say something. Let me hang on. I might be able to find the thing. I think it's in here. Wait, hold up. There's so many channels. Oh, wait, here. Yeah, here. He said that project is not dead, been put on hold, but it will be taken up shortly, and that he's learned a lot from making XTK, and that'll make his knowledge on making EOS even better. So, he said it's starting soon. I cannot wait for that to come out. I can't wait to play on a server with that. It'll make channels feel really, really apocalyptic, I think.
Yeah, he's like XTK has been a learning experience for all of us on the project. That's for sure. And a lot of that knowledge is getting passed down to another project, which is great. I can't wait for EOS. It's one of the reasons why I got interested in Kaf's work, especially. And you know what he's been doing for XTK is going to be. It's really fucking cool. Don't get us wrong. Like the stuff that he's been doing, beautiful. But with EOS, it's only going to get better. So can't wait for that.
I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Same
a vanilla
here.
server with that EOS on it and a few quality of life changes. Can't ask for
Yes. Gonna be good.
Guys, we're pretty much at the end now. We didn't get any clips submitted this week, so nothing to showcase there. Thank you all so much. Archie, it was good to finally have you on board as another regular co-host, mate. Hopefully things settle down a bit for you. You get into the new house and all the rest of it.
Yeah, I'm moving next week actually, but I'm going to leave the PC unpacked so that I can be on worst case scenario, and I'll be here at 3 p.m. instead of 4. My bad. I thought I was early and I was late, but yeah.
You're fine, mate. Don't worry yourself.
I've just had so much shit, man. My Discord got hacked. If anybody needs free nitros, let me know. I got you. And then my fucking server got taken over. It's been a fucking nightmare. And then I got called last weekend to come in, and I'm still in the military, so I'm at their mercy. So, but yeah, shouldn't be any more interruptions. So
Apparently,
I do have a clip I want to shoot you over.
We did have a clip suggestion. So 1 second. There is 2.
Does it have to be a clip we made? Because I found this one.
No, it has to be your own clip.
Okay.
I think I've actually seen this.
Was that just a random that jumped in that after he spawned it? I missed the first part.
Actually just found it, yeah.
Sorry, it's just something important.
What's going on? So back with a new DayZ video.
DanceofJesus, talking about Discord scams, be careful. There is a new wave hitting the DayZ community. Now they ask you to try their games and make you open a .rar file. Do not open it or execute the program. But don't don't open anything. Like I said it when you got done, Archie. I actually got done as well, but luckily I did it on my iPad and it didn't recognize the file or something like that. So because I'd just woken up and I thought someone, well, yeah, that's nice of them to give me a nitro. I can use it on the Discord. And yeah, so just,
they also have one now because I had to go back and forth. I actually had to have my lawyer talk to Discord to give him my shit back. But they have one now that they told us about that it pops up, and if you click the report spam button, it's actually loaded. So it does the same thing. It's like a fake report spam button. So like they have really, Discord's got to figure something out, man. I know people say I'm blaming Discord for my own mistakes, but that's just simple shit that a crawler could find, And it cost me over $5,000. They stole all kinds of money out of my bank account just for me clicking a link because it snatched all the metadata off my phone. So.
Bagel, I know.
Car. What? Holy shit, what was that? Holy shit, what was that? Oh my fucking god. What the fuck?
What car?
What the fuck?
That's a funny looking car.
Manu!
We want to
What the fuck is that?
Oh, that is awesome.
No, Manu, it's not in your fucking head. What the fuck? That was an alien fucking spaceship.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is a clever ass
alien
admin right there. I don't know why.
Oh my god, Manu, give me a minute.
That's part of Bandov, dude.
Can you go back to the beginning again where he says it's a car?
Car.
Bagel, I know.
Car. What? Holy shit, what was that? Holy shit, what was that? Oh my fucking god. What the fuck?
It's got sound
What the
bites.
fuck? Manu! What the fuck is
That
that?
is so cool.
I think it's in
Did
my
you hear
head.
the hovering sound?
Yeah,
That's not in your fucking head. What the fuck?
I need to try
That was an
Bandov.
alien fucking spaceship.
I do too, man.
That was a
shit's really
fucking
good.
alien
I need
spaceship.
back on it.
that's
Oh my
awesome.
god, Manu, give me a minute.
That's
Should all hop
awesome.
on the same server together, run around.
I mean, let's do it.
I actually played with Reverend. I think it was last week. Him and a bunch of his friends and that. It was really good, actually. Except for the fact that I'm pretty sure for the entire hour and a half to 2 hours I was playing it, I kept respawning in the same fucking town. The respawns are fucked.
Yeah, we got him good.
Damn, you got me good, guy. Oh my god, that scared the shit out of me. Alright.
Did he actually get him?
Okay.
No, you could hear him.
No, because I thought that
Damn,
was a
you got
body
me good,
falling.
guy. Oh my god, that
Yeah,
scared the
same.
shit
Yeah.
out of me.
Unless he got
Alright.
one of his friends, maybe, but you can hear your man talking running away.
I don't know why they didn't shoot in.
Yeah.
Those walls are paper in those little garages.
They probably didn't know.
Yeah, true.
And then there's one more.
Hey, bitch. Come shoot. Shoot, bitch. You a pussy.
That's the DayZ safe zone experience right there, man. Every fucking time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So maybe that was just something with our console that even after you're dead, you can still talk in local chat or something like that.
I don't know.
But yeah, you definitely
God,
hear
that
that
would be
body go
awesome.
thunk, but yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, individual spotlights. Chris, we'll start with you. What's something you would like to shine the spotlight on in the community, mate?
I genuinely don't know. I haven't played DayZ in such a long time. I don't know, if I'm being brutally honest.
Well, while you have a think of it, we'll go to Archie.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I kind of sort of peruse just to kind of stay up to date with DayZ info pretty much every day on YouTube. And there's always new up and coming guys that you see. And some of them stand out more than others always. Like Marks did when I first saw him, and I shouted him out originally back in the day. There's a guy, and I'm sorry, I just noticed him recently because he popped up in my feed, Nitno, and I think he was in your chat earlier. I never look at chat because I get distracted. But he's putting out some really good content. I've seen nothing but good things for the guy, and it's quality too. So I would definitely recommend.
Share a link, mate. Share a link in chat if you can, so people can check him out.
Yeah, I'll go grab one. But yeah, great. Thank you, lad. Great content, regular updates. Looks like he has, he's off to a way better start than I was as far as views and stuff. So, and his production quality is insane. And yeah, that's really all I got this week. I'm not going to plug I have been playing on a server called Frostbite RP. That's pretty cool. It's a little too modded for me, but beggars can't be choosers. Anybody wants to run into me, come jump on there. It's not a sponsored plug. I've never even spoken to the owners, but it's pretty fun.
Marks?
I'm going to shut out another YouTube channel. I was talking about him last night in our chat with Archie, but Barbarous is his name. I think I'm pronouncing it right. I'm not 100% sure. He's a New Zealander. He makes DayZ videos. I played with him when Rearmed blew up, and very, very nice guy. And his videos are long, but they are really, really, really good.
He's with the crowd of JLK and South Sweet and Cairo and a lot of the new kids on the block who were just making waves. So yeah.
He's his like third video in there like blew up over 100k views. Just insane, like really, really good quality. Very funny, nice person. So I just had to shut him out because I've been addicted to his videos recently.
And it has the unscripted DayZ adventure disclaimer at the beginning of all the videos.
This ones? I don't remember.
I don't really know. I've been focused quite a lot on work lately, and I'm kind of glad I got the next 2 weeks off. Yes. I don't know, really. I will say that I was yesterday while I was at work, because I had fuck all to do. The devs put out a tweet saying they're doing a play test, and I responded, "Oh yeah, I'm at work. Of course you do play tests," kind of like just joking on with them. And they sent us a fucking job application for Bohemia Interactive. So I was like, "Oh, okay."
Were they any janitors or what?
Cheeky fuck. So I was talking to DOJ about it, and I might apply for the artist position.
Good on you.
So
good luck, man.
I
honestly.
Yeah,
do it.
Yeah,
man. Make them tell you no.
So
why not?
I did joke.
You're young, mate. What are you
I
to
did
lose?
joke kind of be really. I mean, that's it, really. I did joke kind of saying it would be so fucking funny that like one of the hosts of the DayZ podcast is an actual DayZ developer. So,
yeah, do it, man.
Inside information.
Would you still be able to do it? That'd be an interesting question. It'd be cool if you could, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine it would, but
I
still haven't fully decided. Oh yeah, I mean, to be fair, if Jesus gets an artist position before me, I would not blame him at all.
Yeah.
He's fucking stellar. But I'm gonna see if I can get him to help us make a portfolio and shit like that, just to compile everything in one. But we'll see. But I suppose that's it. It's not really a spotlight, just more of like a hey, this happened. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm just sick as fuck right now. My throat's on fire.
Need more Iron Brew.
Had enough of Archie, that's the problem.
New player model.
Beautiful.
Give me a job, DayZ. Give me a job. See, he even has a bang stick. You can tell that's a Walther PPK pistol in his hand because the attention I've done.
The level of detail is just insane.
That's some premium 4K texture work right there. Just
oh yeah. Like I said, that's literally my my level of artistic ability is. Oh,
looks like dead matter, dude.
Have you got anything yet there, Chris?
I do, yeah. So sorry, I probably misinterpreted what you were asking earlier initially. So I'd probably like to give a shout out to Frankie Plays, not Frankie on PC, but Frankie Plays.
Yep.
Yeah, so I've known him for quite a while, and obviously from where he was to where he's come to now, he's just gone, through leaps and bounds with the quality of his videos. Story, cinematics are probably the best I've probably seen, and that's just my personal opinion in his most recent videos. So no, very good on him. He deserves it. He's a very lovely person, and I'm very surprised, about how some of these creators these days are obviously publishing so frequently. So hats off.
Who was it? One more time.
Frankie Plays.
Frankie Plays.
Okay.
He helped me back in when 110 came out, and I made like my first video, and he helped me do cinematics for that as well because I didn't know how to do them at the time. It was the first time I'd done them, so he actually helped me do cinematics and that, which is a great help.
And now I can see it now, but he's gonna get a lot of shit for having the Frankie name.
Yeah.
Oh, he already
I think he said that. Yeah.
He's already had that. No, I'm not that Frankie. I've chatted with him a few times. Didn't realise I wasn't subbed on the 87.8 Survivor FM channel, but I've fixed that now. So yeah, but no, definitely been aware of him.
He's got plenty of time to rebrand. He's still early enough. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
My shout out is going to be to Banov. It has been so awesome seeing so many people streaming it, creating content on it, talking about it. I'm so happy for Cabello that his project has finally received the attention it deserves. And it's great seeing so many people just jumping on and exploring and getting lost and having new encounters. And it's got to be promising for people who are looking at creating maps. That it might not happen immediately, but if you keep on plugging away at it and you put in the quality and time and the effort into creating something for the PC community, it will eventually get appreciated. So yeah, Banov, I'm absolutely in love with it at the moment. And I'll probably only explored about 10% of it. There's still so much left to explore on it. So, guys, you've got to jump on there. It's fucking awesome.
Definitely will in the coming future.
Yeah, I've never heard anybody talk about a new map besides the mosque so much. And that's not throwing shade on any of the other creators, but I just keep hearing about Banov.
Yeah. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
It's a good map. It is a good map.
Chris, thank you so much for coming on, buddy.
Thank you for having me. Sorry, I've been a bit quiet, but
no, that's okay, mate.
To meet you.
Yeah, no, look, this is why we do the podcast, mate. It's just, a bunch of fellas, sometimes the odd female, sitting around just talking about a game that we all love. We might want to fucking strangle it at times, but, our criticisms come from a place of love. We want only what is best for the best game in its genre, in my opinion.
100%.
Nice to make your acquaintance, sir.
Likewise, Archie.
And if people want to get some artwork done by you, we'll have the all your social links in the description of the video when I upload it. Apologies for last week's episode. I've just been a bit busy this week, tied up with some stuff. I will get last week's one uploaded and this week's one done as soon as I can this week. But yeah, just coming up to Christmas. Got a lot of stuff to organise. So yeah, I'm excited for the Christmas episode. Make sure you tune in.
Yeah,
it's going to be good. Can't wait.
Fellas, thank you all so much. We will see you next week. Next week's guest, let me just jump down, is Morty.
Yes. Morty. Creator of Morty's Weapons. He's actually a really cool dude. Really, really nice.
Yeah, I've been loving getting the modders on. Just to they don't get anywhere near the love that they deserve. So anything we can do to help promote them is a win in everyone's books, in my eyes.
Yeah, they're not doing an official community spotlight anymore, are they? I haven't seen one in a while.
No, they did. They did the one for November. I hope they take our feedback on board that they need to showcase the mods. I know that might upset the console crowd a bit, but the modders are doing so much fucking work. They deserve the attention.
Yeah, and they're literally just rolling the most popular mods into the game. I know I keep saying it, but they definitely deserve the credit.
Yeah. All the best, everyone, and we will see you next week, same time, same channels, as always, for the DayZ podcast. Fellas, thank you so much for being here, and yeah, look forward to next week.
Sounds good.
Hell yeah.
Hopefully I have me fucking podcast closed by then.
Send me some money.
All the best, and ciao for now.
See you later.
See you later, everyone.